Formula E strikes back into the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit for round 3 of the 2022 season. Eduardo Mortara leads the title from Nick De Vries as well, both claiming victories last time out. Who's going to have the upper hand as we return to what is the best circuit in Formula E? 2 rounds down then, Eduardo Mortara with victory in race 2 in Diriyah. Nick De Vries with winning race number 1 as well. We now move on to Mexico City. We take March completely out the equation before coming back in April for 2 rounds in Rome as well. Monaco, then a double header in Berlin. Jakarta, Vancouver, the first 10 races before it's doubles all round in New York, London, and rounding out in August in Seoul. The Drivers' Championship, Nick De Vries is just 4 points back to Eduardo Mortara, 33-29. Vandoorne and Dennis closing in the top 5, separated by just 8 points. Further down, Lotterer, Bird, Vernon, Nick Cassidy complete the top 10. On the second page, Oliver Rowland, where with points along with Pascal Furline, Oliver Askew and Mitch Evans, as well the last drivers with points on the board. Gunther, Da Costa, Buemi, Sims, Camara, Tictum, Turvey and Giovinazzi, all needing further points. In the Constructors Championship, Rocket Ventura leading the championship by just 1 point to Mercedes EQ, 58-57. 31 points back are the 2 Andretti squads as well. They're fighting with Envision Racing. Porsche on 14, a point clear. Jaguar, who are in turn a point ahead of DS Chachita. Mahindra only have 4 points. Nissan, Dragon Penske and Neo 333 all still to get points. And coming into this weekend then in Mexico, just the 1 race for the drivers to get a grits with, which means they get just an hour's practice before going into qualifying and of course the race coming up shortly. Let's take a look back then at highlights from Free Practice 1, Free Practice 2 and then Edward Hunter joined me in the commentary box for qualifying. And the green flag is out. The first practice session is underway for the 2022 Mexico City Prix. Cars immediately heading out to the circuit. They need to in order to get ready for what is going to happen. But it looks absolutely fantastic. Once again, we're in for a good race, I feel, here today. Well, the interesting thing to see here is, at the moment, is we've got Gunther on top. Now Evans goes top. They're all changing over. As you can see on the driver tracker, all the cars out there on the circuit. There is now a yellow flag down at turn 1. I think it's Sam Bird in the number 10 squad in the Jaguar. So is Bird gone straight on? He seems to have done it at the first corner. Yellow at turn 1. TV pictures aren't picking it up just yet, but we'll cut back when it has. So Bird has continued on from turn 1, and he don't know what exactly happened there. He's down in 21st place, but yeah, Bird having an issue out on the circuit. We've now gone back to green flag running though, which is best news. Evans top, Vern, Buemi, Cassidy, Gunther, Sims, Frines, Dennis, Degrassi, Mortara the top 10 at the moment, and Lotterer improves now to the top, fastest first sector at 23.213. Double yellows down at turn 1. Not sure what cause is. I think it's Andre Lotterer somewhere on the circuit. Looks like we've almost got rain on the camera lens. It was Lotterer, yeah, who went on. Cassidy in the pit lane. Lotterer goes back out now through. Back to green flag running. Lots of yellows down at turn 1 today. 10 minutes or so to go, and the times keep changing. Lotterer fastest, 1:08.022. Then it's Vern, Rowland, Acosta, Degrassi, Buemi, Furline, Frines, Dennis, and Evans, the top 10. Gunther, set a camera, Mortara, Askew as well, as there's a yellow flag down at turn 1, and it is Antonio Felix da Costa who has gone straight on. Let's hope he can get it back out of there, and he hasn't put it in the wall. TV pictures haven't caught up with it yet, and he's got going again. So green flag goes back out as Da Costa gets going, just locked up, went straight on turn 1. And this is Antonio Felix da Costa now on the replay. Offline, double lock-up, then another lock-up on the outside right. Straight on down at turn 1 and down on the Formula 1 part of the track, and had to do a 360 to get back out there. That's very scary and very long. They've moved back the tyre wall from when we were here in Season 6, because of that. And there's another yellow down at turn 1. This time it's the 29 and it's Alexander Sims in the Mahindra who has gone straight on. And yes, he's got going again now. All sorts of problems down there at turn 1 today. Yellow flag was briefly out there for Lucas Di Grassi. And this is what happened to Alexander Sims then. Down to the braking zone for turn 1, offline. Just runs it straight off. They look like the rear left had a bit of a lock-up as well. So that was under regeneration of the energy. And presumably Di Grassi did the same thing. Offline, very dangerous then into turn 1. That could be interesting when the lights go out later. Di Grassi locked up the inside front right into turn 1 and went straight on. He too had to do the 360 turnaround. And he's my pick a winner this weekend, Lucas Di Grassi. Another yellow down at turn 1, and it's Alexander Sims again in the 29 Mahindra. It looks like he's gone straight on, and he was on a full power lap as well. De Vries sliding round the Peraltada as he completes a lap time, goes from P11 up into P3, goes De Vries. So they've all taken the checkered flag. Turvey jumps up to 13th and takes it. So this is the running order then. At the end of the first practice session, Andre Lotterer was the fastest at 1:07.509. Buemi second, Furline third, Freins in fourth, Da Costa fifth, Gunther sixth, De Vries is seventh, Cassidy eighth, Dennis ninth, and Vern the top 10. Drop down the order, set a camera, Vandoorne, Turvey, Mortara, Roland, Bird, Evans, Giovinazzi, Sims, Di Grassi, Tictum and Oliver Askew in last place. And the green light goes on and free practice 2 is underway for the 2022 Mexico City ePrix. Looks like a bit of rain clouds coming up in the distance though, but it's okay. Track temperature at 27 degrees. Air temperature is only at 16 degrees though. 24% humidity as the cars are beginning to venture out onto the track. The final half hour of practice officially underway before we go into qualifying. We've got a yellow at turn 1, and it's Antonio Felix da Costa who has gone straight on. So just like what we saw in free practice 1, it's happening again. Cars going straight on at the first corner.
Traffic, we'll keep pushing.
Copy, you keep pushing.
So Askew's been told that there's traffic. He's told the team that there is traffic, and there is because Lotter is there as well. But he's been told keep pushing by the team. We've got 23 minutes to go. Vandoorne top, Lotter and Buemi the top 3. So we just went driver's eye with Jake Dennis, and he locked straight up at turn 1, missed his braking opportunity completely, and went down towards the turn 1 for the Grand Prix circuit. Just catching the brake, it's horrible. Oliver Turvey straight off at turn 1 and continues. So turn 1 is going to be the focus point today, everybody watching. As Turvey's gone off, I think everybody's gone off down at that first corner now. So 10 minutes to go of this session. Lotterer top again, 1:07.386 and going faster. Vern second, Furline, Di Grassi, Buemi the top 5. But everybody's had a lap time. We're just in the qualifying runs. A few cars going off at turn 1, but it's a relatively quiet session. I'm surprised. Lotterer though, 2/10 faster than Vern. That's the big surprise for Porsche. So Mortara was 9th, but he's just had a lap time deleted for track limits at turn 16, the Peraltada. Well, that's a shocker. And he's just gone off the track as well down at turn 5. And the checkered flag has come out, but there's a yellow in the first corner, the number 23, straight on, and we all know who that is, with it being the Season 2 champion, Sebastian Buemi, who has gone straight on as well. So the checkered flag's out, cars going to come across, complete their lap times. But Da Costa and Lotterer and Vern, 1, 2, 3. Da Costa, even with those lockups, still quick at the top. Oh, Sete Camera spun at the stadium sector, turn 11. He's got going again, but that's what caused the second yellow. Okay, everyone's taken the checkered flag. Here's the times. Antonio Felix da Costa fastest to 1:07.345. Andre Lotterer is second. Jean-Eric Vern third. The top 3 separated by 52 hundredths. Buemi 4th. Cassidy 5th. Evans is 6th. Furline 7th. Roland 8th. Bird 9th. And Di Grassi in 10th. This is what happened to Sete Camera. Got it wrong on the middle half out of turn 11, just lost the rear. The bottom half, Dennis is 11th, Vandoorne 12th, Gunther 13th, Askew 14th, Tictum 15th, Freins 16th, Sims 17th, Giovinazzi 18th, Mortara 19th, De Vries 20th, Turvey 21st, and Sergio Sete Camera spinning there is down in 22nd place. Qualifying 1 is underway then for the group stages. We've got about 7 minutes to go. Drivers are now just setting their first flying laps. Buemi, 8th at the moment, crosses the line, jumps up to P3 on the board. Growing out in Group 1, we've got Eduardo Mortara, Stoffel Vandoorne, Lucas de Grassi, Andre Lotterer, Jean-Eric Verne, Oliver Rowland, Oliver Askew, Max Gunther, Sebastian Buemi, Sergio Sette-Camera and Oliver Turvey as well. As Lotterer comes across the line, alongside me in the commentary box is Edward Hunter. Ed, what have you been noticing so far then in the first few minutes of this group qualifying? Now that everyone's back up to speed, what's your thoughts about it?
Well, it looks like the track is still bedding in after the two free practice sessions, but Lotterer, like you say, punching in 107.9, couple attempts off his best effort in the two practice sessions, first and second in practice 1 and 2. So he was on pole last time we were here, so I wouldn't count Lotterer out, certainly. But Mortara, who had his own best lap time in FP2, has just come in and set a time 0.041 slower than Lotterer's. So certainly look at Vandoorne sliding around there. Sorry.
Big slide, it's turn 1.
Got horribly distracted by that. I lost my train of thought. But certainly this group was all the odd-numbered teams in the championship, I believe, with Mortara leading it, of course, and then everyone sort of 3rd, 5th onwards, whereas next group will be the even numbers. So interesting to see how they all get on and where they shake out when we get to the tournament stage.
So it's Lotterer, Mortara, Verne, Gunther, Rowland, de Grassi, Buemi, Vandoorne, Sette-Camera, Turvey and Askew. The running order at the moment with Gunther crossing the line. Everybody else now returning to the pit lane, just going to bolt on another set of tyres and go out for another run with 5 minutes to go the session. So the checker flag is out then at the end of this first group stage of qualifying. Lotterer, Mortara, Verne and Gunther, the drivers currently through to the second part of qualifying. Vandoorne is coming through the stadium sector to try and improve on his time. The Forosol Stadium just beginning to fill up with fans as well as they scream back through round the Pelotada. There was a little worry, Ed, though, that he might catch traffic. It doesn't look like he has. They've all kept themselves pretty much separated.
Yeah, and there we go. Vandoorne 3rd fastest then in the session, which is good news for Mercedes, just behind Mortara's time that we were talking about earlier. Is Verne coming through now, Josh?
Yeah, Verne's coming through and jumps to second. So Verne from 3rd to 2nd. That puts Mortara definitely at risk. Gunther's looking quick. Mortara jumps to the top, so forget that. 107.784. He's a 10th quicker than Lotterer, and the rest of them coming across the line. Sette-Camera is 9th, but has the fastest 1st and 2nd sector. Askew's improving. Lotterer's moved up, so it's Lotterer, Mortara, Verne and Vandoorne, the top 4, with Sette-Camera going 9th, and Askew goes to 6th. Great time from Askew, but the top 4 going through to the next part. Lotterer, Mortara, Verne and Vandoorne. What do you make of Group 1 then, Ed?
Oh, there we go. Just see the end of it, and that was quite interesting. Lotterer, though, as expected, setting the fastest time, and all Porsche, both Mercedes-powered cars and the DS the Cheetah making it through, and Nissan, Andretti, de Grassi I was surprised by. Didn't really get it together there. The former winner here in Mexico, 2 times as well, so he's going to have a bit of a trickier job now near the back in the middle of the grid.
Right, on to Group B in a few minutes' time. And the green light goes on now, and the second part of qualifying is underway. Nick De Vries, Jake Dennis, Robin Frein, Sam Bird, Nick Cassidy, Pascal Furline, Mitch Evans, Antonio Felix da Costa, Alexander Sims, Dan Tictum and Antonio Giovinazzi. The cars heading out there. Nick Cassidy is the first one to venture out for another 12 minutes. Ed, what are you thinking about Group 2 then?
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they're any faster. I suspect there won't be a huge difference between the two groups like we saw in Saudi Arabia. I'm assuming we saw. I didn't see that. But yeah, Nick Cassidy going onto the circuit now. Bird and Verline strike me as 2 names to watch in this session. And I'll be interested to see the progress of Antonio Giovinazzi, of course. Only his 3rd race in Formula E, whether he can get himself a little bit further up the grid. He was looking a bit more improved in the practice sessions, and certainly keeping it on the island compared to his teammate Sergio Sette-Camara, who was pushing it and spinning it a lot in practice. So we'll have to see how Giovinazzi, Italian Jesus as they call him, how he gets on. Whether maybe the Red Sea, more like Italian Moses. We'll see if the other cars part like the Red Sea in front of him.
Robin Frines, last one in this first half of Group B to set time and jumps up to P2. Fastest middle sector, he's 10 thousandths off of Da Costa. So the top four shows Da Costa, Frines, Furline and Sims. And then out of the qualifications for the quarterfinals, we see De Vries, who, that's crucial, second in the championship. Evans, Bird, Cassidy, Giovinazzi, Dennis and Tictum. A lot of cars holding up with traffic, though, on those runs, Ed. But an unusual pecking order going into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, and Robin Frines very nearly beat Da Costa's fastest time in this second Group B, of course. But Jake Dennis had a little moment in the stadium section that I'm just looking at now, where he just was a little bit tentative on kind of entry in turn 11. But certainly a bit more time on the table there. Dennis down in 10th at the moment, just behind Giovinazzi, actually, who was only about half a second off of Da Costa, which by his standards, given the car he's in, isn't too bad. But certainly the Jaguars, De Vries out of the top four at the moment, all of those will be looking to improve.
So we've got another 5 minutes to go. They'll come in, they'll have a quick debrief and head back out for the last minutes of the run.
I think I may just put new tyres on.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Go faster. Okay.
So Cassidy crosses the line. He's gone up into P4. He's knocked Sims out. He's gone, actually, a 10th off that. So the top four separated by a 10th of a second, Ed. And as you said, interesting times for running.
Yeah, exactly. Nick Cassidy deciding to go while everyone else has basically gone back into the pits and is waiting for ideal track conditions. Cassidy's decided, and he was so close to hitting the exit of the wall at turn 1, so he was really pushing like crazy. Could have easily gotten fastest at the group there, Nick Cassidy, but a couple of mistakes. The second sector was a little bit slidey, to use a technical term, or one-to-one. But Alexander Sims just missing out there. So him and De Vries, Evans, Bird will all need great laps if any of them want to get into the top four and progress in qualifying.
Nick De Vries then coming into the last couple of corners in the stadium sector. I haven't got my timing screens updated on my end as he's fighting for control as well. He's only got the Peraltada to go. Flat out as well as you build up half. It's a flat oval last corner as well. No chicanes left anymore. De Vries crosses the line as the checkered flag is definitely out. De Vries does go through, but it's only fourth. That's incredibly close, Ed.
And Sims, purple first sector for Alex Sims as well. Here he comes.
Sims coming across, sixth at the moment. Is he going to knock out De Vries and really put a headache on the side of the Mercedes party? De Vries crosses the line. No. Stays down in P6. And the rest of the board. Furline.
Final sector for Sims then.
Furline. Wow.
Great time by Pascal Furline.
So they've just rejigged it. They've all stayed in the same positions. De Vries and Cassidy. Well, Cassidy's the real one to watch. I think he slowed his lap times.
Well, I think Cassidy doing his lap earlier has sort of cost him because he doesn't get a chance to counter-attack now.
So yeah.
2 Porsches topping both groups.
Wow. Lotterer Group A, Furline Group B. And both of them have been denied race wins in Mexico more than once. It's Furline, Da Costa, Frines and De Vries going through to the quarterfinals.
Okay, and into turn 1 comes Nick De Vries, gets the braking point just about right, slides in, and here comes Lotterer, Josh.
Lotterer on a lap time then already. We'll keep an eye out what his first sector time is as well. As he comes down, he starts his lap very wide out the last corner as well. You're going to have to interrupt me, Ed, because you can see...
Yeah, here comes De Vries through turns 5 and 6, hits the apex perfectly as he continues on the lap through that little extended section. Looks all very neat and tidy from Nick De Vries so far. He hits the first sector. Lotter, it looks like, is about just under a 10th behind.
So Lotterer is a 22.523 in the first sector. De Vries a 22.424 as well as we enter the stadium sector. This is a crucial part of the lap though for De Vries.
Yes, and at the moment it looks like they're almost dead level on their current timings. As De Vries, it all looks very neat and tidy for him. Here comes Lotterer.
Lotterer's looking quite quick as well. He's gained time in that second sector. A little bit wide, though, coming into the turn number 10, into the Forest Stadium. They're right together, and Lotterer's ahead of De Vries.
De Vries coming to the line now, but it looks like he might be a 1/10.5 behind. Lotterer flying, Joshua.
Lotterer coming to the line. De Vries crosses it. He did a 1:07.637. Lotterer just behind. Is it faster? To the line we go. Who's going to go
Much
through?
faster.
It's
Almost 3
Lotterer.
tenths, Josh.
Lotterer top with a 1:07.103. De Vries eliminated. That is the shock for the championship, Ed.
Yeah, shot for the championship, but if you've been watching all day, Lotterer has been flying out there, so I'm not surprised to see that. But disappointment for Mercedes. They'll be hoping Vandoorne gets a bit further into the tournament. Yeah, here we go. Oh, a heavy lockup from Furline into turn 3 there, and here comes Mortara.
He touched the
and
grass.
Venturi.
Yeah, he touched the grass in the exit of 1, plus that lockup as well. So Furline is completely out of shape. Mortara starts his lap time now as he hurtles down towards turn 1. He's the leader of the championship as well. His main championship rival De Vries is out of it. So this is all open goal now, and he's made turn 3 much more successful than Furline's.
Yes, Furline has a little wobble through turn 9, and he's really pushing, as Mortara is showing Mortara slightly behind then on the graphic at the moment. So Furline's pushing, but just about getting away with that huge lockup. Although Mortara's actually gone much faster in sector 2 now.
3 tenths, 4 tenths even as well, as Furline shakes their way round the Forest Stadium. Mortara looks to be easily ahead on this lap time then as they come through. I think, unfortunately, this time it's going to be it.
Catching a little bit in this final sector. He crosses the line, 1:07.6. Mortara's still coming around, Josh.
Mortara into the last couple of corners then. As you see, Furline, as Ed said, across the line. He was a 1:07.672. Let's see what Mortara does across the line. So 1:07, yeah, 1:07.263. Mortara goes through to face Lotterer in the duels.
So
Off
here
you go, Ed.
comes Da Costa, but Verne has already started the lap. It looks very neat and tidy between the two so far. Not much to choose between them.
Verne's first sector was a 15-second lap. Da Costa's very smooth through turn number 1 as well. 2 DSGs versing each other. We had this with Mercedes back in Diriyah. Let's hope it's an okay one. Here's Verne.
Yeah, it looks like Verne's slightly behind, but caught a little bit as he goes into the stadium section. And let's hope he can keep it neat and tidy. Really going well over the curb. So the DS Cheetah really set up well in terms of suspension. And they are neck and neck, Josh. It's nothing but to choose between the two cheetahs.
This is opportunistic.
Try saying that twice as fast.
It's very hard, isn't it? Look at that. 5,000 between them as well. Between Verne and Da Costa. Verne's going to cross the line first ahead of him.
Just looking at Verne sliding through the final corner, but he just about held on. 1:07.347. Here comes Da Costa, Josh.
Da Costa going for it. Is he going to be anywhere near the time of Verne? As you said, Ed, a 1:07.347. Can Da Costa get ahead and get back in his title fight? Or will he go the way of Verne?
Just
No!
missed out, Josh.
11 thousandths of a second. It's a 1:07.358. Verne wins the Cheetah Duel. But my goodness me, that's the closest we've seen so far. And the helmet's on.
I've only got one DS Cheetah and I put the Costa in. Bye-bye, Antonio.
On to the last duel then, before the semi-finals. It's Vandoorne versus Furline.
Here comes Vandoorne.
Stoffel
in the
Vandoorne.
Mercedes. Oh, why did he like onto the grass there, Josh?
Vandoorne down there towards turn 1, as you say, taking all 4 wheels off very wide as he comes through the first corner on the grass completely. He's almost in the wall. How did he not hit the wall? I thought he was going to put right in there. You were a little bit ahead of me on that one, as here comes Furline, Ed.
Yes, here comes Pascal Verlaine. He has a much tidier turn 1, so he won't have so much dust on his tyre to clean off for the rest of the lap. But look at that Porsche. It looks supremely well set up for this race day. And Vandoorne continuing on his way. We saw De Vries get knocked out early, and I think Vandoorne's 6 tenths behind. It's going to be a bit of a tall order for him to catch Furline now, unless Pascal Furline comes a cropper somewhere.
So Vandoorne has made the big error down at the first corner. He's carried it through the entire lap. The crowd are cheering in the background for the Mercedes drivers. They don't care if it's Lewis Hamilton, Nick De Vries, Valtteri Bottas, or Stoffel Vandoorne. Mexico absolutely potty for motorsport. Across the line then.
Yeah, a 1:07.7 for Vandoorne, so it's showing him about 3.5 tenths down. So he was able to mitigate a bit of the damage, but it's not going to be enough, I feel. Here comes Furline through the last corner, and he's pushing. He doesn't need to, but he's still pushing.
And Furline goes top, 1:07.299. Furline just had to do it.
Furline,
yeah.
Actually.
So,
almost in the 1:06s.
So it will be in the semi-finals, Lotterer versus Mortara and Verne versus Furline.
So here we go. We're into semi-final 1 in Mexico City for, of course, the Mexico City E-Prix at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Eduardo Mortara for Venturi is facing off against Andre Lotterer in the Porsche. And Mortara, of course, hoping to use the Mercedes engine in the back of the Venturi, but Lotterer setting the timing screen to light in practice and in the group stages. Here we go. Ido Mortara is powering towards the line now to start the lap in his all-black Venturi. You notice that thing when it's coming up to you. Here we go. He's getting a little squirrely on the steering as he... Oh, but he just judges the first corner perfectly. Only the tiniest little grass gets flicked up there. Here we go into turn 2 and 3. And then we cut to Lotterer about to start his lap. It looked like a very clean start for Mortara, Josh.
Yep, nice one from Mortara. Right and smooth. You've got to do 4 amazing laps. Lord Lotterer now starts his lap time in the Porsche down towards turn 1, flashing magenta on the halo as well. The battle graphic is open. He too takes turn 1 expertly as well. No grass clipped up as they head towards turn 2. Mortara is slightly ahead of Lotterer.
Mortara pushing like crazy into turn 9 because you saw the car squirreling all over the place. Let's see how he goes through the stadium section. Gets a wide on entry and then turns into the apex. Here he goes onto that line. You see that big concrete that's been bedding in. Lotterer's catching just slightly, but he's just under 2/10 behind. So Mortara looks to have the edge, surprisingly, as he goes through the final corner, Josh.
Mortara's made a bit of an error. He's lost time because Lotterer's closing. So Lotterer has got the pace. Mortara's car sliding as Mortara crosses, as you say, a 107.228.
This could be close.
Where's Lotterer?
Less than 4 thousandths here.
This is close. Here's Lotterer now, out of the Peraltada, coming to the line.
He's
Who's
ahead.
going to do it? He's doing it. Oh, is he going to take it? Lotterer,
Oh, he was
fastest.
behind. He just lost it right at the Peraltada.
He's missed it.
Mortara qualifies him.
Wow! Lotterer doesn't do it. 0.067. Mortara goes through to the final, and Lotterer has lost out. That's a surprise, especially after practice. Mortara through to the final, and now it's Vern versus Verline.
Vern's going first, followed by Pascal Verline. So here comes Jean-Eric Verne in the black and gold Tachita. Goes as wide as he likes for the best entry into turn 1. We get a lovely inside camera, and he goes well over the grass there, but might have just gotten away with that one. A bit drifty. Let's see if Pascal Verline can keep it clean, as in the crowd. Somebody's got a big can of beer that they're passing around. Let's not get too distracted. Here he comes, Josh.
Verline starts the lap time. The beers are all the way around as well. Don't worry, Alan McNish, I'm sure, has paid for them this time around as he comes in towards turn 1. Verline lit on the brakes as well. He too kicks up a little bit of dust, but it's an okay first sector, and it's put him slightly ahead compared to Jean-Eric Verne. So Verline on a much better lap. Can at least one of the Porsches get through? It's 2 thousandths between them as Verne comes to the stadium
it's a bit more
centre.
than that now, actually, as we see further in the lap. Verne has really lost time from his mistake, but he's clawed it back just a little bit as he got into the stadium section there. The gap 0.030 in favour of Verline.
Who's going to take it? The crowd are cheering in the background. Who's going to be on for the finals battle against Mortara?
Just look at the last corner, Verne. The rear looked like he was going somewhere else there, but he just about able to hold on to that. But he might be, it looks like he's going to be about 2/10 down, Josh.
Verne, 107.366 across the line. Now we wait for Pascal Verline. Who's done it? Verline goes through to the final with a 107.
Wow, what a lap by Pascal.
035, 0.3 of a second faster. Verline is putting his Mexican demons behind him and is through to the final with Mortara, who won in Puebla last year. Wow.
There we go.
The last part then of qualifying for the Mexico City E-Prix, the final between Eduardo Mortara and Pascal Verline. There's Verline just coming through now, and Mortara is going to start his lap. I think they're going to try, Ed, and go side by side. No, they're not. Mortara crosses the line and starts his lap down towards turn 1. Very tight before you come onto the oval section of the track. He's a little bit wiggly. He manages to make the apex, kicks up a little bit of dust, but that might cost him time as he approaches turn 3. 9.2 in that first sector.
Ooh. And Verline has a little bit of a cleaner entry. We'll have to see how the split goes, but it looks neat and tidy from Pascal Verline so far. But on the moment, Mortara marginally ahead, but twitching as he goes into the braking zones.
9 thousandths! 9 thousands between them in the first sector. Mortara's a 22.345. Furline a 22.354. Incredible as they come through. Mortara into the Forosol Stadium as well. Can the championship leader take 3 extra points? He's very wide though. He's missed the apex. Coming into turn 11 and 12 through the attack zone. He might have lost it here. Furline's quick in the second sector. Let's see. He's dropped to 10th. Oh no! Coming out of it! Mortara! He's coming through! And he's, yeah, you're right, coming to the line! And he's lost it! My goodness me! Across the line! Mortara!
Can Furline do it?
Mortara crosses the line sideways! It's down to Furline, Ed!
Furline sent it by almost 3 attempts there. Furline on pole position for Porsche, and Mortara threw it away.
My goodness me! Sliding out of the Peraltada! Mortara goes for the spin towards the wall! It's Pascal Furline who has pole position! And now the question is, Ed, can he regain himself from what happened back in Season 5 when he lost the win here, and a year ago in Puebla when he won the race but got disqualified?
Well, that's all. The one with Mahindra was so long ago, he's probably forgotten about it. And the one with Porsche was at a different venue. So that'll be his rationalization. But certainly, amazing job by Furline, because he was on the back foot a little bit going into this qualifying session. But just consistently, he was setting the timing screens alight. And when Lotterer fumbled, Furline was there to pick up the pieces. Of course, we'll have to see how the race plays out, how the Porsche manages its energy relative to the Venturi, to the DS Achita of Verne, and we've got to watch out for the likes of Robin Freins and the Jaguars potentially a bit further back, and the Mercedes, of course, with lots of ground to make up. But certainly for Verline, that puts his championship, it's a great beginning to his championship, getting those 3 points. Let's look at a replay now of Ido spinning right at the death. He almost did Jean-Eric Verne. Remember in Hong Kong where he got pole position
backwards
despite spinning, but because there was a little bit of a I felt like Ido had that one, and
it would have been his,
pushing.
yeah.
That the Peraltada, like you say, he went really wide, and because he was offline when he tried to correct himself, it just the rear went around, and he couldn't save it. It almost had like 3 goes of going around. He saved the first 2,
yeah.
But the last one was just that bit too much for him, and couldn't quite keep the horizontal in line, as it were.
Here's the starting grid then. Pascal Furline on pole position. Eduardo Mortara starts second. Andre Lotter is third. Jean-Eric Verne fourth. Antonio Felix da Costa 5th. Nick De Vries is 6th. Robin Frein 7th. Stoffel Vandoorne 8th. Nick Cassidy 9th. And Max Gunther in 10th. Mitch Evans is 11th. Oliver Askew 12th. Alexander Sims 13th. Lucas de Grassis 14th. Jake Dennis 15th. Oliver Rowland 16th. Sam Bird 17th. Sebastian Buemi's 18th. Antonio Giovinazzi 19th. Sergio Sette Camera is 20th. Dan Tigtum is 21st. And Oliver Turvey starts at the back of the grid. The race is moments away. 3 hours away from me and Ed in real time, but moments away on the stream as well. But Furline takes a crazy pole position as Mortara, the championship leader, goes 4 wheels sideways across the line.
He's going to need new tyres after that one, Josh.
He's going to need big tyres, new tyres, everything on the grid. Okay, the race is about to get underway. Me and Ed are standing by. Ed's down on the monitor, just waiting to get going. I'll put the headset on, and it'll be time for the Mexico City E-Prix. But first of all, let's take a look around the circuit with Lap Attack, with Nick Homewood at the wheel from the EERC. Link in the description channel as well. Let's take a look then at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez here in Mexico City. A tight turn 1, 2, 3 complex as well. Track length is at 2.606 kilometers as well. The third round of the season. It's proving to be the best track in Formula E. Let's take a look on board then with Nick Homewood. Out of the last corner, the Peraltada, and across the start line, down towards turn 1, a hard braking into the right-hander, regen the energy, don't go into the wall on the left-hand side. Round turn 2, more like on the apron, into the old banking before another hard left at turn 3. Drop down into the modified section of the circuit then, that's only been used once before. Turns 4 into 5 and 6, a double-barreled hairpin as well. Important to get the car straightened up as well. So now, through turn 7, it's a long run down towards turn 9. The only part of the track that's the same as the Formula 1 guys. Into the Furline Stadium. Hard on the brakes, regen the energy, turn the car in towards the right, clip the apex nicely. The Furline loops back on itself in turns 10 and 11. Attack mode just on the left there as well. Control it as you come back round. Nasty little bump here on the inside coming into turn 13, 14 and 15 now. Brake again before you flat out towards the line at the exit at the Peraltada. Rise up maximum speed as well across the line, and that is a lap of the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit here in Mexico. Hello everybody, welcome back up to the commentary box. We are live for the first time this weekend as well, a very long pre-show. But it's time for the talking to stop and the action to begin. We are back at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit as well after a year away. And it's time for the 2022 Mexico City ePrix, the third round of this amazing Season 8 Championship. 2 races in Diriyah just last month provided us with Eduardo Mortara leading the way in the title by just 4 points to Nick De Vries. I'm Joshua Burch. Alongside me in the commentary box, hopefully back for a lot more races this year, is Edward Hunter. Ed, a topsy-turvy grid. The cars are separated everywhere. Who are you most picking for victory?
P2 now, Jeff.
Oh, as Jean-Luc Vern's radio interrupts you there. Go on.
Just giving him a little instructions there. But yeah, looking at the grid, it is a little bit mixed up in places, but certainly we expected Mortara to be near the front. May not necessarily expected Pascal Furline to be on pole position. I certainly think the Cheetahs and the Porsches will be the ones to look out for, but let's not discount the likes of Nick De Vries, Stoffel Vandoorne in a 6th and 8th. I think Mitch Evans in 11th. I picked him to win free race in the little grid preview show, but it could well be. I think it could well be the protagonists at the front that decide how this pans out. And looking at the grid graphics, I'm surprised I wasn't watching in Saudi Arabia. They've got rid of the little build-up and the turn thing. I spent ages animating that in Lego, and now it's just a little JPEG of the drivers that just slides into place.
Yeah, it slides
less impressive.
Doesn't really work that well, does it?
The graphics for Aurora Media or North One needs to up their game a bit.
We've got the YouTube chat in operation. Oh, Ed's not quite into focus on that one, so I'll change that in a second.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not you. It's not you. It's my fault there. As they come through. So hello to Josh and everybody coming through as well. And we're getting ready for what is going to be a great race. So I'll just quickly copy and paste Ed over. But Ed, we're getting ready for the green lights to come on. What are you most expecting when the lights go out, especially down towards turn number 1?
Well, I think probably everyone seemed to think there's going to be a lot of carnage. I suspect there'll probably be more a case of everyone being quite tentative. That always seems to be the case. The beginning tends to be a little bit tentative, maybe a couple of moves here and there. And then it kind of goes a bit crazy near the end. Look at that. It's almost like there's all the smoke is drifting off from the Ferrosol onto the start-finish straight now.
2 minutes until they move forward. Well, 30 seconds.
Oh, Josh places. Oh, no, there will be
check,
2 Eds. I think even... Well, I've got a younger brother, so
okay.
I already know what it's like to have 2 Eds. Well, I mean, he's a bit different. But
yeah, you commentated on Ed earlier.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Megan and I've got my brother Harry, so...
It all just about works out.
I guess Megan's not a brother, but you know what I mean.
Sister works out, yeah.
Go on, have a good race. Do it, you know.
Matthew Owens says, hi all, have a great call.
You too, guys, and I hope you had some coffee before.
Vern saying, I hope you all had some coffee before.
Oh, no, it's Jev saying.
Oh, yeah, yes, of course. John
I
Vern.
think Jev's radio people worth listening to. Here we go. It is on board with Degrassi, though. You can see the driver's eye view. You can see the smoke. Is that being left from somewhere else on the circuit? Or is that just the smoke
very
from
unusual.
the
tyre
brakes?
smoke. Yeah, it could be the tyre smoke. I hope it's the tyre smoke, but either way.
So that could be a bit unsafe if somebody doesn't get away and you can't see them in the smog there.
I wonder if they'll delay the start a little bit. It's looking okay from this angle, but remember the driver's eye is incredibly low down.
It does seem to be drifting away. It's coming from the pits.
Okay, lights coming on. Round 3 of Season 8 is under starters orders. Lights out. Now, good start from Mortara. Good start as well from Lotterer. Furline gets away and immediately cuts across the inside of Mortara. Lotterer's trying to go around the outside. There's numerous cars locking up down into turn 1. That was a very quick lights out procedure, but they've all managed to get through safely. Now down to turn 3. Look at Lotterer trying to go right round the outside. Roland's up there into 3rd place. I think the timing screens are very, very wrong there, Ed, as they made their way through. What a very quick lights out procedure that was as they come down to the hairpin.
Yeah, transponders messed up there, but I'm amazed that nobody ran into each other particularly. I could have sworn Jev was going to feed Antonio Felix da Costa, his teammate, into the wall. But look at them all squabbling down as they go towards turn 9, Josh.
And look at Cassidy diving on the inside of Vandoorne, who's diving on the inside of Roland. Cassidy making 2 places up as they get to the Forest Stadium. Round they go. Look at that, 85,000 spectators. It's sold out almost as they come through. Cars going left, right and centre.
Being overtaken by Degrassi.
And that's already flashing back to seasons 2 and 3 as they enter the Peltada for the first time. Furline leads Mortara from Lotterer. Vern going up there as well. So Vern's dropped to 4th. Degrassi is moving up ever so slightly. No, he didn't.
Because he was on the because Degrassi would have been on the inside, but it turned to the outside for the entrance to Ferrosol.
And look at De Vries.
Look at this.
Oh, he tried to look on the inside there, didn't he, Nick De Vries, on the inside of Da Costa.
Yeah, and because that didn't work out, the 2 Envisions are right on him now.
And he's trying to go right round the outside. That's Frines and Cassidy in the bright green colour cars as well as they head down towards the hairpin. And De Vries is having to defend massively, but Furline's having to defend for Mortara. Lotterer's Romus running into the back. Mortara caught up in a Porsche sandwich as they head down towards the forward. Da Costa touched the wall. Da Costa definitely touched the wall there. He scraped out wide and unsurprisingly got damaged.
Nick De Vries on the outside of Da Costa.
Down the inside now on this camera angle, and through he goes. Da Costa losing it. Sorry, De Vries losing places left, right and centre.
No, I think
you're right.
Just couldn't quite get through Da Costa. So the damage on the Tachita isn't too great. He hasn't lost any positions. He's just lost a little bit of ground to Jev there. Feeling bad that I picked Evans to win because he's dropped to 14th now and Bird right behind him.
Got a yellow.
So not having the start they would have hoped for.
Yellow flag. The 29 Alexander Sims is stopped down at the Forosol. Vern's wanting a safety car, don't know why, but we've got Alex Sims is stopped down at the Forest. You can see on the driver tracker as they head back down towards turn 1. No sign of anything.
If he stopped at Ferrosol, is he stopped in front of attack mode? That could be interesting as De Vries goes over the grass.
Oh, De Vries is having everything all over the place. As there's Sims, as you can see on the monitor, stopped at turn 11.
Disambiguation there, decrease, as in going off piste.
That's the one. That's the one I was thinking of as well. Oh, and that's him. There's Sims.
There's Sims.
They'll have to throw the safety car there.
He's well off the race line because he's right near the exit there. And in fact, in the first right in the eye line, Jack Pickering, our correspondent, who's there on site, he sent a lovely photo from the Ferrosol that I showed you just before we started the broadcast. And there he is. You can almost see him among one of the many dots that make up the crowd here.
So where's Sims?
The field goes through.
So where is Sims actually parked? I couldn't see him. So maybe they won't throw the safety car, but they can't just leave him there. Maybe
I think
full
he's
Courcello.
parked right under the arch, which is where the F1 circuit goes under to the Peltada. So he's well off the track. But they could recover it with just some local yellows. I think that seems to be what they're doing.
Keep an eye out, though, as fastest lap of the race goes to... Well, it keeps changing, actually, dramatically. Top 5, Furline, Mortara, Lotto, Vern da Costa. Pretty much status quo as it was from when the race started.
I did think it'd be quite quiet up front, and that prediction has come true. But unfortunately, near the back is where all the carnage seems to have happened.
The top...
And Sims losing out.
The top 7 have remained identical to what they were when the lights went out. It's only, guess who? Second in the championship has fallen right down the order. Vandoorne in P8 as well. He's dropped down to P9. De Vries has stayed where he is. So the computer updating it now. Double yellow now at turn 11 as Mortara is closing up. And Vern is still calling for a safety car on the radio. We've opened it up now as they all swing through the Forosol Stadium once again.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if anyone else is calling for it as well.
There it is. There's Sims. Look, we go green. Sims was at the exit of the Forosol, so he's gone straight on down at turn 10 and is being put behind the barrier. Replay the start, Ed.
Yeah, here we go. So, as you see, Furline and Mortara getting away quite equally. Furline having to push out the Venturi a little bit. The Suchachita is getting very close and De Vries right behind them. And that's where I thought Da Costa was going to be fed in the wall. But they both did well to sort of avoid that from happening. And then, we get more filtering through, and we come back to live. So, there's the entry of Dennis holding off Boemi in the mid-fac. And they're definitely there's a big battle behind Gunther for that final point. So keep an eye on that as the race.
And that's
develops.
Sete Camera's dropped down to 20th. So Giovinazzi and Sete Camera now back ahead of Tictum. So there's a lot of moisture on the camera lens here. If Andre Lotter is running in 3rd place.
There
but
was
it's
a
closing
rumor
up.
that it was going to rain during the race at some point.
That's a lot of moisture coming up as well. Look. Minimum speed looks good compared to Lotto, where Vern's been told as well. Vern's running P4 right in the back of this group. He's got DaCosta just behind him. 4 laps completely set from Lotto. Lotto has gone for attack mode. That's all I can
he's come
think.
out just ahead of Vern as well. They had just enough gap to do that.
That's what it must have been over the radio that we didn't hear, was the fact that he's gone for it. Now, here's the attack mode stats, Ed.
Yeah, there we go. So it's got to be used twice during the race, lasting 4 minutes, and it's a 13% increase, which equates to about 30 kilowatts. So Lotterer is going to be much faster down these straights for the next couple of minutes, but he's got to make the most of this.
Oh, and look at that. Frine's diving to the inside, catching De Vries out massively, almost to the point where De Vries nearly went in the back.
Remember those two came together when, was it Frine?
Look, sorry to cut across. Look at Cassidy feeling very opportunistic to try and get through on De Vries. De Vries is losing places hand over fist. Back to you.
Yes, but now, of course, Nick Cassidy's got Vandoorne right behind him as well. So Lotte really pulling the trigger here is going to cause a lot of chain reactions in the pack, especially Furline and Mortara. I wonder if Lotte can clear Mortara with a Furline. Is going to let
Vern on the radio asking for more information. Let's go quickly over to the YouTube chat as well. Saying as well, Josh plays. Looks like it's a Mercedes by the colour.
Mortara going for attack mode, Josh.
And he's taking it.
Just come out ahead of Lotterer.
So Verline keeps the lead, but now he's going to have more power. And look already the back of Lotterer. Lotterer's right on the back to try and get ahead of Mortara. It's going to be so much faster through the Pelotado.
Well, it isn't because they're both in attack mode, Josh.
Well, Mortara lost it earlier on in qualifying, but look at this.
Overtaking behind.
Now in the second phase down the back straightaway, Mortara backs off a little bit. Lotterer does the same as they head down towards turn 1 once again.
Yes, but now this means Mortara had to do that because if one of the Porsches jumped him, it was basically game over. And he's on his own there. The Porsches can work together to squeeze him in. So Verlon, I think, is probably going to wait a bit for Mortara's attack mode to run out here rather than reacting. Yeah, although he might. We'll have to see what he does on this lap. If he's going to do it, it has to be now.
And I'm honestly thinking the GDS cheaters are a bit of a sitting duck. They're running 4th and 5th and are so much out of position as well. We'll ride with Mortara, looking back to Lotterer as well. And Verline, I think, has the opportunity now to go for an attack mode and just defend from these two.
Verline's got a big gap. I think he's pushing for attack mode here, Josh.
Is he going to take it? He's very tight and does so.
Yes.
And where's Mortara? Comes out just behind him. But Mortara's going to have the pace through the Forest Soul to keep up with him. Let's hear from Verline.
Nice and efficient.
Can't hear anything.
Okay.
It's too quiet. Well, we'll open it up.
It sounded like, let's go, Pascal. We're good on energy, keep efficient. That's what I heard.
And look at Lotterer. He's looking very racy indeed. But so's Mortara. Mortara dives to the inside. What a move to take on Furline into turn 1. Has he gone too deep? He cuts across the grass. And Mortara tries, but has succeeded. Now Lotterer trying to get past Furline. What a sensational move.
Verline was so slow, like it's almost like he was either lifting off really early on the straight or he had some kind of issue there. Almost like Formula cars don't really have a gear, but it felt like he missed a gear there and Lotter almost goes into the back of him as they all tighten up at that turn 5 hairpin. Look at this. Look, he's got such a big lead and then suddenly almost slows and has to defend really hard. And but Mortara judged that perfectly there.
We did hear, but just before we came on air, that's Cassidy diving on the inside this time of De Vries into the Forest Soul.
That was a bit desperate from Nick De Vries there.
Dived on the inside. De Vries went very, very late. Cassidy jumped up. Is anyone going for attack mode this lap? No, the two Mercedes. Oh, big one there. And that's, was that Gunther sliding?
Boemi and Degrassi.
Oh, Boemi and Degrassi running 11th and 12th getting sideways.
I think Boemi was going for attack mode there, and Degrassi was right behind and almost hit the back of him.
Velotta has hit 10 seconds on his attack mode as well, so he can't attack. Mortara does a 1:10.632, fastest up in the race so far. Lotta is out of attack mode as they hurtle down towards turn 1 again. Look at this from the two Nissans as well, looking to go side by side. Correction, it's going to be it's going to be Bohemi and Dennis, 12th and 13th, very similar liveries as well. And who was that going through? Has Dennis passed him? No, he hasn't. Dennis still behind.
Dennis is fighting with Bohemi for 12th at the moment.
You've got to look everywhere where it's going to go. Looked like it was a double yellow further back. Josh Play said earlier on.
Giovinazzi went for attack mode, actually. He's still got a couple of minutes left. He's trying to attack Roland at the moment for 16th.
This is very, very interesting as well as they keep on going through. Attack mode left. 30 seconds for Mortara. Furline on 1:40 to go as they come through. So Mortara's going to run out of attack mode and is going to have to go very defensive to Furline for the next 2 minutes. DaCosta takes attack mode. Comes out ahead of France. Gunther takes it as well. Keeps ahead of Bohemi, his teammate. And now they're getting very congested once again. A comment in the chat room as well. Just quick from one Solo Ving 1. Why can't we see the race? How is Joshua watching the race? I've got the pictures from Eurosport. This is a watch along, so we've got the track maps and we do the best we can to provide an alternate commentary stream.
Yeah,
and
do you want us to get a copyright strike by Aurora Media and Formula E? But anyway, Furline, whatever that issue was that's caused him to slow at the end of the straight, seems to have got it under control now because he's not hemorrhaging time. He's kept, and he's still got attack mode to use.
2 seconds. Gunther and Degrassi under investigation, causing a collision at turn 11. And, that was Frines.
Frines decided not to go for it. Really late there.
That was interesting. I wonder why he didn't want to go for it. There is confirmation, look. Gunther and Degrassi under investigation for causing a collision at turn 11. So that's at the Forest Soul, so we haven't seen it.
So it might not have been Gunther we saw, not Bohemi, that they hit each other.
So it was,
it might have been something to do with the attack mode. Is Vern going for it now as well and coming out just ahead of DaCosta.
Two Mercedes going for it too. So Vandoorne, Degrassi goes for it. Bohemi's gone for it too. So has Giovinazzi. No, Roland's gone for it. Askew, set a camera. They're all lighting up blue.
And Degrassi's gone for it and come out just ahead of Gunther as well, so he's gained a position there and all that.
And Furline's out of attack mode. So Furline's out of attack mode now. He's right up with Lotterer, binding down towards turn 1. Mortara's got a 1.3 second lead.
If Furline has a problem now, he hasn't got attack mode to help him. Look, Vandoorne having a go at De Vries.
And he's taken him. Vandoorne gets ahead of De Vries for 8th place. No favouritism there at the Mercedes team. And this is really
that was
hurting.
Crucial though, wasn't it, Josh? Because Vandoorne knows he can't be overtaken by Degrassi here. He needs to get a move on. And De Vries looks like he's been struggling really kind of all race, to be honest.
Look at Degrassi. Degrassi's already up into P10, and that was fun.
De Vries having a go at Vandoorne. He does not like being overtaken there as we cut to the two Porsches.
Wrong time.
Squabbling over second.
Yeah, wrong time to cut pictures. It looked like they almost made contact. De Vries put his car to the inside. Lotter is going to be a bit of a sitting duck to Vern here. Yeah, this is getting close now as well. Let's go over quick to the group chat. Nick says, I presume it's Nick Homewood, who says as well, De Vries and Cassidy taking lessons from me and Tobias Blumschein as well, from the ERC race of Formula E a couple of months ago. It looks like they are taking tips. Look how many more taking attack modes. 8 down to 20 on attack mode now as well, and we'll keep you updated as that goes, but it's changing dramatically as Vern closes down on Lotterer.
Yeah, so De Vries has gone for it.
And here he goes. That's Vern trying to go around the outside of Andre Lotterer into turn 1. It hasn't worked. Lotterer took the inside line defensive. Now Vern tries to swing around the outside to turn 3. It's not going to work. My goodness.
DaCosta's going to be right behind this, so they need to make sure if they come to a dead stop, they don't let DaCosta back through both of them.
He's going for it.
On the inside, Josh.
That's very late. Can he keep it through the hairpin? They go side by side, but I think Lotterer's got the position here, and he does. Vern couldn't have got through there. Forasol is going to be the opportunity.
Got more energy, more higher power mode at least, and so Lotterer is going to be a bit of a sitting duck as they go into turn 9. And the Techeetah team celebrating.
And DaCosta's gone through.
DaCosta as well.
Wow, DaCosta went through at the same time. So Lotterer has dropped outside the podium positions now. Vern closing up with Furline. And that's Lotterer nearly going to the back of DaCosta.
I think DaCosta just slipstream through, or is he in attack mode as well? Because the graphics don't show him in attack mode, but the halo's all lit up.
Okay, maximum efficiency now. I need crypto at the line.
Vern being told maximum efficiency. Do you remember what we heard just before we came on the race live, Ed, was the fact that the engineer was on the phone to Vern saying this is going to be a longer race than normal. So they're thinking it could be an extra couple of laps.
Yeah, so maybe they had originally planned for a shorter race, and Verne is being told we need a little bit more on an energy target just to make sure. There we go. Certainly efficiency, the watchword, as ever in Formula E. So Verne might not go for a risky move on Furline before his attack mode runs out. He's only got just under a minute left. But it's going to get very close, isn't it, Josh?
Let's take a look at Da Costa then, slipstreaming on the inside. So, yeah, he just basically followed Verne through.
I thought Da Costa was going to go for... Yeah, he is in attack mode as well, definitely. But it looked almost like, oh, look at that. And Lotter just giving enough room. And through goes Verne.
Verne takes Furline with 37 seconds left of his attack modes as I put my glasses on so I can keep an eye on the race. Instantly involving Tictum and Giovinazzi has been noted. Verne moves up then into second position. The race is coming alive as that's Fryne's taking attack mode, gets out ahead of Cassidy. Vandoorne's in trouble.
This time he backed out at the last minute last time, so it certainly seems like they want to use attack mode later than the others. So wait for everyone else to use theirs and then use yours. Seems to be the strategy of choice at the moment.
On to lap 13. Mortara leads by 1.2 seconds. Verne's closing him down, but he's 3 seconds away from losing his attack mode. He's lost it now. Meantime, further back as well. Mercedes are fighting back. Vandoorne passes Cassidy into turn 1 on the inside and moves up.
You need to be quicker with Crypto Jev, big radio problem.
Ooh.
Oh, that's interesting. We'll open up Verne's radio then on the PLC.
Well, we can hear it, but apparently John Eric can't.
Well,
there's some kind of issue.
We've opened up the radio channel, so anything we hear from John Eric Verne...
Attack will stop now, max efficiency.
There you go, so attack mode stopped. Yeah, we can't hear him.
That's the issue then. He was left over when he wasn't speaking.
Yeah, so we can't hear him. So that's really annoying. So Verne's lost
You
contact.
need to be quicker with Crypto Jev, big radio problem.
Oh, and there we go. Look, Furline's... Oh, he's been tapped! And Da Costa's got damage! Da Costa's got wing damage! He got tapped from the back! Attacking Furline, who went for attack mode. And look at that! The winglet's gone now. That's not such an aero damage, but if it comes off on part of the track, it could cause him a puncture, Ed.
Or it could be quite dangerous as well as it flicks up. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a meatball flag for Da Costa in the next couple of laps.
If it lasts that long.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully, for his sake, for his race, it comes off as here comes Lotterer.
And further back as well, Degrassi's having to have an attack on the inside of De Vries as well, as there's all sorts of drama going down into turn 1. And I'm trying to work out. So Lotterer's gone to fourth.
He's getting caught against the wheels, so he's having to let them through.
He's going to be trying to aim for the corners to try and shake it off as well. It's like the annoying bit of cotton. There it goes, as it flies off down towards turn 6 and 7.
Yeah, so a little bit, 2 places lost for Da Costa, but not the end of the world.
That's not the end of the world, indeed. It's just about going to be okay. Mortara... Oh. Verne on the radio, can't hear us. Vandoorne's looking on the inside of the broken Da Costa. And yeah, Cassidy got ahead. De Vries and Degrassi was under pressure as well. Hasn't worked out. Burns moved on to 14th. That's Verne taking second attack mode.
Verline's an attack behind.
That was Verne taking it.
Aggressive from Verne then. No, not really saving energy at this phase.
Da Costa's done it as well.
As through goes Boemi. Just coming out ahead of Gunther.
That was so close. And now that's going to allow Dennis through, Bird 2, Gunther's already there. They're all getting caught up again in the middle,
say. Coming through as well, actually, yeah.
So that's all gone through. Verne on attack mode again. Verline, Lotterer, Frynes, Da Costa, all taking it.
Look at the lead Mortara's got now.
Well, he hasn't...
Verne has cleared the Porsches.
Cassidy on the inside getting ahead of Vandoorne as well. Vandoorne
trying
to fight back.
So Vandoorne and Cassidy having a great little fight.
Cassidy is ahead of Vandoorne. The timing screen seems to have stabilised. Instantly between Gunther and Degrassi. No further action after investigation. It's just popped up on the timing screen, as you can see below on the YouTube chat as well. Vandoorne got past Cassidy. Let's take a look at replay. Da Costa going wing damaging. Oh, he just got caught out by the Porsches going for attack mode.
Yeah, there we go. It was a bit unlucky there for Da Costa because if you look on board, Lotterer slows so much and he can't avoid him because it's such a narrow part of the track without getting off it. Oh, and Mortara reacts to Verne and goes for attack mode.
And that's now there. Both attack modes done. So for the next 26 minutes plus 1 lap of this race, they are basically going to be just fighting energy saving as well. I said it wasn't going to be a tyre wear race. Let's hear from Jev.
Verne being told, mega job.
Mega job?
Every lap.
Mega job. That's all I heard from that.
Yeah, Jev has a great chance of winning this one, actually, if he can keep up with Edo.
And look at the...
Edo certainly being caught after getting into attack mode. They'll have a bit longer of it.
Buemi, I thought, was being caught up there by Bird, but Buemi's still in the attack mode as well. Certainly looks like the top 5 in this race beginning to break away. Frines is just tailing on the back, throwing to Costa as well, actually to the top 6, beginning to get away. But Vern's closed in to a second behind the back. I'm just hearing on the radio as well that we've just opened up again. Vern was told to keep on going every lap. Yeah, so Vern's radio's bust. You can't hear a thing, and he's Da Costa very close down to the back of
he's doing well
Frines.
considering.
Oh, massively so. Let's open up Pascal Verline's radio. As we've highlighted Vern in P2, Verline P3, holding back from Lotterer. Buemi's gone for attack mode as SHG
this hasn't
has
really
said.
gone to plan for Verline so far, has it? Really,
No.
ever since Mortara got through. Would love to know what the issue was. Maybe if there was some kind of he was trying to save energy to meet a target, or if there was some kind of issue that resolved itself.
Oh, Giovinazzi,
definitely-
yeah. Sorry, Giovinazzi's been into the pit lane. So Giovinazzi's come into the pit lane. Josh Plays has pointed that out. And that's an interesting factor. Dive bomb on the inside. That's a very late Da Costa getting ahead of
Ooh.
Frines. He nearly put it in the wall at turn 1.
I think Frines broke really early. They thought that Da Costa was going to take him out. These two are good friends, actually, so
Oh.
wouldn't want to take each other out at all.
Yeah,
so, Frines being quite sensible there.
I'll correct you now, Ed. They're friends for now. As look at that, Vern's closing right up to the back of Mortara, but Vern's only got 48 seconds left of attack mode. Mortara's got 1 minute 55, so it's not really that, as that's Giovinazzi coming a lap down now. Really is a baptism of fire for, as you call him, Italian Jesus. I
was sort of hoping he'd be more like Italian Moses, and the rest of the field would part like the Red Sea. But Gio, certainly, I think it was doing okay until he had to go in the pits, actually. So it's been a stronger weekend, but certainly it's kind of unravelled a little bit, as that happens sometimes. It was always going to be difficult in the Dragon, certainly. And Sade Kamara fighting away with Turvey and Tictum up ahead, but Tictum just going into attack mode now, actually.
Well, Vern radio. Something about attacking at the end of the straight. Can't hear anything there as well.
I heard him sort of making noise.
I just heard blah, blah, blah. Buemi's out of attack mode now as well. One's loving one. So one, maybe I can't read that username right because I haven't got my glasses properly adjusted. But we must be blocked from watching the race in the US. So thank you, Josh. Well, pleasure to help out our American friends as well in watching the race.
Same here as well. Could be a Fox Sports sort of thing because it's often behind a paywall. Anyway, now Da Costa is going to be a big threat, I think, to even though they've ran out of attack mode, he's going to be a big threat to the Porsches because we saw how Vern was able to get past both of them. So Da Costa, even with the missing wheel guard, is still going to be extremely quick here. And what's more, he's got fan boost to use.
So
does Giovinazzi, Vandoorne, De Vries, and De Grassi. But Gio, it's been so far behind that it's not going to be able to make much use of it.
Who's just taking attack mode? I didn't see. De
Bird, I
Vries,
think, and Dennis as well, and Gunther.
Yeah, De Vries took it as well. So as I was writing down the fan boost winners, as you said, Giovinazzi, Da Costa, Vandoorne, De Vries, and De Grassi, we've just seen more of them being taken. As that's Frines going on the attack as well, or it might be going on the defence. I
think Frines is lapping Giovinazzi.
Lapping Giovinazzi, yeah. So Gio's getting in the way. You can see on the driver tracker. Amazingly, Ed, though, they've all stayed together in this race. They haven't split up like they did in Diriyah. They've all kept very close together, which is delivering us a great race.
It's partly the nature of the circuit, but also I think it's just a little harder to break away, isn't it? In Mexico. So yeah, that is the main reason.
Blue flag. Yeah.
I think it's really a 2-horse race up front. It's Vern or Mortara that's going to come away the win here. But the gap 1.2 now that Mortara's stretched out a bit with his attack mode. I think Porsche have been played out here in terms of the strategy because there's not much tools in the toolbox left to play with. I think they might have a second attack mode and maybe they're just waiting to use it later on. As you look at James Rossiter in the DS Techeetah garage looking a bit anxious.
Vandoorne's taking
There's lots of points up for grabs here for DS Techeetah and they really need to get their season underway because they haven't had a podium yet so far. They're running 2nd and 5th. That would be amazing for their championship. But Mortara, of course, looking to win and making me regret that I haven't picked Mortara 2 races in a row.
Lotterer and Furline lost attack mode. Frines back in attack mode. Tictum as well going here. De Grassi, Mitch Evans. De Grassi's at the fastest lap. Lotterer radio. Once again, just hearing car noise. Nothing at all from the TV pictures.
That sounded vaguely French to me.
It's
but maybe
a little
that was
bit,
just the accent. Could be the accident of his engineer.
Oh, what's happening here with Robin Frines? As DaCosta uses fan boost to try and get past Lotterer. Has that worked out? Can't see it has. No, he's trying to defend from Frines,
If he's defending from Frines,
Yeah.
he's still in attack mode.
So that's him using it. So DaCosta's used his
That was good
fan
strategic
boost.
decision there, because Frines is about to run out, so DaCosta couldn't afford to lose that track position.
Smart moving there from Antonio Felix DaCosta. He must say got caught out by Furline going to attack mode. That's the only reason he's got that wing damage. He hasn't been in the walls much apart from that.
Yeah, that wasn't really anyone's fault. That was more of a just sort of racing incident where, because of the nature of that track, that in the Ferrosol, because it's so narrow, you have to slow down quite early.
Oh, and this is
DaCosta being slipstreamed by Frines.
Frines diving on the inside to turn one, getting on the dirt, having to lock up, just avoids taking DeGrassi's other end plate off, down to turn one, and a round of applause from the Envision guys.
That was a risky Robin Frines move, wasn't it? Using
Very.
the very last of his attack mode to just breeze through into turn one.
That's more of the Frines we usually get to see in motorsport. That was him back in his Envision days. A Virgin!
Oh! DeGrassi on Cassidy.
And losing places to the two Mercedes. Through goes Vandoorne. De Vries gets pushed down a little bit more. But Vandoorne says, thank you very much, I'll take P7. And it's
De
more.
Vries has now got Evan's story about as here comes DeGrassi again with fan boost.
Oh, and he's gone defensive. And De Vries locks up. DeGrassi locks up. Vandoorne nearly in the wall as well. Down to the turn 11 at Forest-Sol. And Vandoorne's going a bit too deep. De Vries going wide as well. It's God knows what's going on down there. Vandoorne 7th.
Cassidy
DeGrassi
really got pushed out there by De Vries.
And this is Frines overtaking DaCosta. That was so close into turn one.
DaCosta was defending quite late there as well.
And look at this. In all this excitement, Vern is only 7/10 away from the back of Mortara, and he's dragging Furline and Lotterer with him as well. This is amazing racing right now as DeGrassi goes for it.
I think Mortara's managing his energy and managing the gap, though. I'm not sure that Vern's going to get a chance, at least not for the next couple of minutes, but we'll have to see.
So DeGrassi's used his attack mode, so that only leaves Giovinazzi, Vandoorne and De Vries to use theirs. Vandoorne's still got a 60 seconds left of attack mode as Giovinazzi comes into the pit lane again, presumably to retire if it's more of a problem. Vandoorne goes a little bit too wide down into turn 5 and 6 at the hairpin, but keeps it going as well. Vern closing up, 6/10 behind now, Mortara. The gap is closing more and more, as the rest of the field now beginning to form into a train once again. 18 minutes plus 1 lap to go.
Yeah, indeed. And Vandoorne has not got much attack mode left, so he's not really going to be able to make much progress. But here comes Cassidy into attack mode and just gets out in front of
That's
Evans or Bird. He's just got. There's Bird.
And that was
Evans through.
That's Cassidy's first attack mode as well. So Cassidy hasn't been in attack mode yet, but I swear I've seen him in blue before. Apparently not.
Frines has used it.
Yes, Frines has.
Cassidy had not.
Yeah, so Askew's got another 1 minute 25 of it. Vandoorne's just losing it now as coming under defence as well. But when he dives up the inside of Sam Bird into turn 1 and gets the move done, Roland's going to try and follow him through as well. Down towards turn 3, goes to the inside, takes on the dusty line in the braking zone. Bird cuts across to defend, and here comes Jake Dennis looking around the outside. Gunther's sitting back thinking, I'll wait for you all to crash into my teammate and take you all, as they head to the hairpin.
Good move by Boemi, though. That's more like the Sebastian Boemi of old that we expected to see in the last couple of seasons. So good to see him showing a bit more confidence under braking and making a move on Sam Bird, who's no slouch. He's not an easy person to overtake, Sam Bird.
He's really not. Started 18th, Boemi. Bird started 17th. They've moved up together to Boemi 12th, Bird 13th as well. As we cut back to the leaders, Mortara leading from Furline, Lotterer and Frines as well. Closing again. Vern now just 4/10 away from the back of Mortara. It's almost like the Jaws music is playing in the back. Vern is on a charge. He wants victory here in Mexico.
Oh, he does, but he's going to have to make sure he's got enough energy to do the final lap, doesn't he? There's Furline on the radio.
Didn't hear that, but I'm sure we'll hear it in a second over the PLC because it's ever so slightly delayed. Furline's radio. As 37% of energy left for Mortara. Everyone's around about the same amount of energy. Actually, the worst is Sete Camera at 34%, but everybody else pretty much even for the last 16 minutes of the race.
Looks
really.
like Turvu's been saving like crazy. He's got 41% behind Sede Camera, so I think Turvu's kind of abandon the race and going for efficiency and hoping everyone else ahead of him runs out.
Well, it's not the bad idea, so it's a very good idea to
It's
go
the
for
Nico
it.
Muller Valencia strategy. Worked out pretty well for Nico.
Mortara was wide. Mortara locked up, I think, coming into the Forest Sol. He's lost a heap of
Mortara under a
time.
lot of pressure now.
And Furline's coming back into this one again with Vern. So the Porsches have come back to it. They've done their attack modes. They've done all the little things that we have to do in this race.
The Porsche's done both attack modes.
Yeah.
I remember they did their first one. I don't remember they did the second one.
If anything, I'm doubtful of Furline doing his second one. But with that amount of energy left, I can only show me years as he dives on the inside. And I think Vern let him through.
Vern's flying.
Did Vern let him through? As De Vries uses his fan
I think he might have.
boost.
This might be the extra lap coming into play as De Vries goes into his fan boost.
Oh, and
Can't quite catch.
That's
Degrassi.
it!
Oh!
Lotterer
just squeezing through past his former teammate there.
No,
I think Brian's fancies a go too.
Vern must have a problem. Vern has to have a problem. He's slowing dramatically. Is this the radio interfering with maybe cars' electrics? Vern's down to fourth and Frine's on the back of him. So Lotterer's gone through. Verline's gone through. This is dramatic already for a driver we just thought might take the lead of the race. Oh, and look at that, he's coasting.
So slow down the straight, Josh.
And through goes, yeah.
Easy meet for Robin Bryans.
Frines goes through the Forest Sol, and I think Vern must be saving energy. Let's open up the radio. Must be saying something over there.
He's got 35%, the same as the people around him.
Wow. Is this a problem? I'm hearing nothing on the radio. You'd hear the same thing, Ed. SHT is asking if...
You have more suck than Friends behind. Let's focus in front. We'll have them back.
Let's focus on
there we
front.
go. So that sounds like a strategy thing.
Yeah,
then.
this isn't I think anything to worry about. I think he's saving energy.
That might have been why we saw Furline slowing earlier as well. Perhaps Porsche were thinking about the end rather than their track position.
Oh, that was him saying, "Are we fighting?" Maybe not. Cassidy on the inside, getting ahead of Evans as well. So Cassidy moves into P10.
So it's him getting back in front of Evans, which was kind of inevitable, really. Jagger has just not had to pace this whole
Max
day.
efficiency from now, Jeff.
Oh, Vern's been told max efficiency from now. So
what the fuck do you think I'm doing since the beginning?
Ooh. Apologies for the language there.
Yes.
Vern not liking.
Eco November, Papa X-Ray.
You want me to save more energy?
Yeah, this is not going
Furline
well.
right behind Mortara. So Mortara and Vern, I think, have got the same problem. Mortara's got a little bit more gap to play with, but he's run out of it now in terms of trying to save energy. 32%, 13 minutes plus 1 lap to go. This is going to be tight, isn't it, Josh?
Plus overtime if there's a late safety car as well. You've got to count that in. This is getting very, very tense.
But they'll be able to save under the safety car, of course. So that's
they will,
why,
yeah. That's why we have the
extensions
overtime. Vern dropped to fourth, 15 minutes to go. Look at how
fast. If you're
fast.
Friends, you've got to be worried. Down to 30% now.
Look at Furline. He's right in the toe. He's going to go for a move here, diving on the inside. And Furline takes the lead. I think Mortara didn't defend from that one. But here comes Lotterer. And I think Friends is even thinking I can have a win here. As Lotterer goes to the inside at turn 3. It's a Porsche 1-2 in Mexico.
Yeah, there we go. So is Mortara, though, just saving energy and thinking about the end? Is Furline on the radio?
Doing a very good job in minimum speed. Keep doing like this. You have more suck than the guy in front. Crypto every lap. The race is in between.
That was Vern.
There we go.
So that was Vern on the radio.
This is an absolutely critical phase of the race now.
India, Whiskey, Oscar Lima.
Leading, the Porsche's leading might actually be the thing that dooms them.
Yeah, if they're going to be using, they're using way more energy.
I wonder if Mortara's dropped back to try and save a bit of energy in the slipstream,
yeah,
so he can lift and coast a bit more into some of these the turn 1, for instance, and turn 9.
This is getting a mathematical race once again. 20 laps after Furline lost the lead.
Yeah, so Cheetah, crucially, was the first to kind of bail out of that lead battle, though.
Vern's been told.
Vern and DaCosta doing basically the same thing now, 5th and 6th.
Vern's been told over the radio, focus your regen at turns 1 and 3. So that's really the only real point on the lap. You can regen your energy in the heavier braking zones. Vern's coming back into this. He's just set the personal best in Sector 1 on that previous lap. So it's looking good. Degrassi,
the team's not going to like that because they're
no.
telling him to be efficient. He's like, well, I'm being as efficient as I can. Yeah, but could you do it a bit slower so we make the end?
He's a racing driver. All he knows how to do is put the foot down and go fast. He doesn't want to pay attention to all of this energy-saving nonsense.
This lap.
Well, I think he's learned how to do that over his past couple of seasons. He's a double champion in Formula 1. Let's not forget.
Still can't hear him much on the radio. We're on board with Robin Friends.
Yeah, and I think also maybe having the radio not playing up is
again crypto when you can. Problem with radio.
Keep off the radio. Vern's been told
Fucking
now.
hell.
Oh, apologies for that.
It's all the paddock.
The whole paddock is having issues apparently, as that was Cassidy taking his second attack mode. So
Yeah,
Cassidy's taking it now.
because the camera just panned away before he did that. So Cassidy using his second attack mode to try and get past
November
Degrassi.
6, Delta.
Oh, and Vern's not happy at all, is he? He's really having issues now as well with the radio. Apparently the whole paddock are having the same issues, which is not great
all
news.
the drivers trying to figure out how much energy they'll need at the end.
With
the intermittent radio messages, Dear Sachuda are basically telling Vern, save like crazy.
And everybody else is going... All the other drivers are having to do this by hand. It explains why with 10 minutes to go, they're so low on energy. So Vern has got somewhat of a radio and is being told save. Whether or not he's receiving that clearly as we are hearing it is another matter.
It sounds like he's reacting, because when he was told that stay off the radio, he sounds like he's saying, bloody hell.
Romeo Charlie 5-1.
There he is again. That's Vern's radio.
Is he giving energy readings to the team
I think
to see if they
is.
can maybe help him? Because they've still got pit boards, I believe, if they really need him. But here we go. It's still a Porsche 1-2, and Fryne's putting pressure on Mortara. He wants to get on the podium here.
Well, Eurosport, I think, have lost commentary ever so slightly, so I think there's issues all over the place as well.
There's general radio issues.
Yeah,
So
massive.
Nobody can hear anybody.
Well, right time to tune into me and Ed here as well, because we're the only ones who could know everything and deliver it quite clearly so far as well. Less than 10 minutes to go, 24% of energy remaining for the top, and it's a very close race. Furline leads, but the question is, both Furline and Lotta have never won a race before. How long is it going to be until Lotta finally becomes the bride?
Passed De Vries.
And that was crucial use of his attack mode as well. So Cassidy up to 8th, and now he's eyeing up Vandoorne with 2:14 left of the attack mode. Is this the day Andre Lotterer wins a race, or is Furline going to do it?
Oh, Cassidy really battling with Vandoorne here.
This is tense.
Almost was thinking about a move at the inside, but Vandoorne was going crazy defensive.
Charlie 4.
Oh, apologies for that language, as well as Cassidy now going on the inside, down to the Forest Soul, gets cleanly ahead of Vandoorne. Vandoorne didn't even attempt.
And he's got enough time to catch the cheaters here.
Oh, hello. Cassidy could come into play
You
here.
have 1.5% more sock than Fringe. Crypto again back straight, sorry for this.
Sorry for this. You've got 1.5% more than Frynes, is the radio message.
Yeah, the two Envisions are quite low on energy compared to everyone around them. So, and especially
Victor,
Cassidy's burning through it right now.
Oh, apologies for that from Vern. I knew what that meant as well. He's basically just told the team to,
go away.
Yes, in very angry manner, waving his finger as well. The whole paddock is struggling with radio issues as well. Turvey has just taken attack mode. SHT has just said to me as well on the YouTube chat that we can all follow along as well. But the two Porsches getting together, and somehow I'm starting to believe Andre Lotterer might have a shot at
2%
winning.
more sock than Fringe in front, 1% more than Tonio.
Evans passes to
Try not
Grassi.
to scream, it's not a problem of volume.
Turvey passes Tictum.
Yeah, there we go. So Turvey on a late charge, past his teammate,
One
using
Lima.
attack
Oh,
mode. But here comes
Frynes!
Frynes on Mortara. Oh!
And Mortara
almost fed
looks
him in the
up.
wall.
Oh, I thought he was straight on there like he was in
Perfect
practice.
like this every lap, please.
Mortara heavy on the brakes there, and that's going to put them in the clutches of Vern if they keep battling one another.
Vern's just been told, save like this every lap, please. So, let's hear from Frynes.
Good job, mate. Good job.
Good job, good job.
Nice.
That's what they're saying over the radio. And now Lotta has gone in the slipstream of
Roland's
Furline.
got past Degrassi as well, so both Venturis saving.
The race is green. We are under a good strategy, says the engineer to Vern as well. I just heard over the radio. So now this is looking good for Vern to start coming back into the party. But look at Lotterer. He is so close behind Furline. As who's that going defensive? That's there. De Vries going defensive against Evans.
Yes, and Turvey's got by Oliver Askew. So
Oh, wow.
this late charge, they weren't as far behind as we thought they were. the
Turns out
Neos.
not.
So that's good to see Turvey get into the top half of the board.
Oh, look at
There's a
Lotterer.
Cassidy behind second attack will stop T1. So one line, one straight to defend.
So that's basically that we've switched open. We've opened Andre Lotterer's team radio now. But look at Vern. He's right on the back of Mortara and Frynes. His engineer's telling him exactly where to pass, how to pass as well. But the battle up front between the two
got back
Porsches.
through past Cassidy.
Oh,
so
wow.
The Envision's really struggling now. Well, at least Cassidy is.
As you said they would. As you said they would, Ed. And look at this. Look at Vern. He's come back into the party now. I think Vern, Furline and Lotta have the same amount of energy as well. Let's have a Furline.
Efficiency, focus on pace. Okay, that's go. Start.
So Frynes is winning the race here for Porsche at the moment because they can Lotterer can save energy behind Furline.
Don't worry about the car behind, Furline's been told. So Lotterer, I think, is going to maybe hold station. Has anyone told Andre Lotterer this? He's never won a Grand E-Prix before, and he wants to do it now, and he's been here for 54 E-Prix. He wants to win, not Furline.
Furline's in the similar boat, though. So Furline's someone who's actually crossed the line first and had it taken away from him, which is in some ways kind of worse than what the heartbreak Lotterer has had to endure.
I would happily pay to see Andre Lotterer win an E-Prix. He's been the bridesmaid for too long, as Fambus being taken by Vandoorne. So Vandoorne takes attack mode. Bird passes to Grassy as Vandoorne tries to have an attack on Cassidy. Has it worked out? Mortara looking to the inside of Frines, and it's all getting chaotic now as Vern tries to go around the outside. Vandoorne passes Cassidy.
Yes, and I think Vern needs to get by Mortara sharpish here because he's really being held up now, and he's got a little bit more energy to play with. So certainly I think Degrassi paying the price from his low grid position because he's really having to plummet down the field and save energy.
And Vern is now on 16%. He's got one more usable energy over the Furline and Lotterer. That might be crucial later on in the race. Frines has the least of the top 5 as well. He's just hit 13. I think he's, 1.5 down on what we had from Vern. Lotterer might just coast across the line. Is history going to repeat itself for Furline? Hitting 0. With 4 minutes to go, they have 14% of energy, and there's another lap.
Fastest lap for Degrassi, actually, so maybe he's stopped saving now.
Oh, wow.
It's fine Bird, but that was a bit surprising. 109.487. So we are a couple of seconds off the qualifying pace, and look at this train behind Robin Frines with the Mortara and the two Chashitas, and now Vandoorne joining the fray, as you say, as Bird gets past De Vries. De Vries in trouble, Josh.
Oh, De Vries out of the points. That's damaging for the championship, but Mortara's thinking ahead, trying to have a defend from the back of Vern. And this is all getting a bit confusing as Mortara locks up. Oh, and that nearly cost Vern his front wing. He went to look on the inside and it cost him big. But another lock-up for Mortara. We've seen that so often today.
Yeah, it almost feels like Porsche are the only team who've not complained about any radio problems.
Yeah.
They seem to have played the strategy really well since getting back in front. And Lotterer saving just a little bit more energy than Furline, but not attacking. It feels like he could attack if he really wanted to.
I think he's being held back.
He's getting great runs down this.
Oh, big look-up for Mortara! Did he hit the wall? No! Oh, I thought he was going straight on there. What did you think?
There's more. The tyres are more smoke than tyres on that Venturi now.
Oh, and look at this! Lotterer's going to have him, surely.
There's a big Cassidy Degrassi De Vries battle going on.
And there it is! And that's on the inside! Vern gets ahead of Mortara! So Mortara's dropped back. Lotterer was on the radio, I'm sure we'll hear in a second, but Mortara's moved up. Moved down to 5th. Vern's moved to 4th. And now Mortara's under pressure from Da Costa. Da Costa around the outside.
Antonio Felix Da Costa.
Brilliant move into the Forest Sol. And now he's having to defend from Mortara for all his might. What a great race.
This is why DS Techeetah backed off so early.
Yes.
They knew it was going to come down to this. And Rowan getting behind Evans in the fray as well.
Giovinazzi's officially retired from the race, by the way. So is Alexander Sims. They're the only 2 retirements we've had, a Dragon and a Mahindra. And now Verline's hit 9%. Lotto has hit 10, 2:16 to go, plus a lap. They've got to start saving energy because they're not going to make it to the finish at this rate. Frines holding off. Vern's on attacking modes as well. And then now anybody from here could hit the podium. Everyone down from Frines all the way down to what? Roland? Unbelievable.
Yes, and it looks like Oliver Turvey's gone from having the most energy to down to 8%. So he's chewed through it with that attack mode.
And Lotterer still on the back of Verline. Is he going to make the opportunity as Frines is saving energy massively into the hairpin? He's almost having to tailgate through. And now look at this. Lotterer's right on the back of Verline.
Yeah, here we go. This is the business end, isn't it? Are Porsche going to let their drivers fight it out, or are they going to bank the 1-2 here?
Whoa, what happened there? Frines has been passed by Vern. Vern goes through to 3rd place. Frines has dropped down as well.
Yeah, he got through at turn 9, yes.
And look at that.
Now all over him too, so Frines is sinking like a brick now.
Who's diving through there? Passing Vandoorne. Was that Evans and Roland going through? It is. Vandoorne's down to 9th. Evans 7th. Roland 8th. The Mercedes have been mugged in Mexico.
Yeah, the Mercedes powered cars. It's not working out for them, Josh.
Oh, well, who'd thought this? Porsche, on their way for their first win, their first 1-2, and at the moment, it could be either one of their drivers. 60 seconds plus a lap to go.
It looks very synchronized to me as Da Costa comes through on Franz.
Dives on the inside of turn 1. Franz backs out of it as well. He's saving energy. Evans has hit 5%. So's Roland. Roland's on 4% of energy as well. Big lock up there. Mortara dive
Mortara going
bombs.
through. Oh, Mortara has not been kind on his front tyres today, is he?
No, he's not. Franz is holding everybody up. Evans is next through. Look at this. Evans going to try and find a way through. Is that... That's
Sam
Burch.
Bird around the outside of Vandoorne.
Bird's managed to get into 9th place in the energy-saving crisis. My goodness me, they've got another lap to do after this. Or maybe it's 2. Because, hang on a minute. They're going to cross the line with 2 to go. And now look at this. Franz goes through. Evans in trouble as well. They're going to have to do another 2 laps at this rate, Ed. 3 seconds left.
Evans failing to get past Franz.
Have they crossed the line? 10 seconds to go. They've crossed the line, Ed. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they're going to cross the line. It's 2 laps to go. It's 2 laps to go, Ed. They crossed the line before the time ran out.
Porsche's not done themselves out of victory here. We'll have to see how this plays out. But they're going to have to tiptoe around. 2
laps with 5%. The entire field going crazy. We're having Vietnam flashbacks as Mortara pushes Franz towards the wall. They both lock up. Franz keeps it on the track.
There, Josh.
And look at Evans. Look at Evans, he's coming through now. Well, we're having Vietnam flashbacks to Valencia about when they all ran out of energy. Porsche tried to do it across the line, and who's hit 0? Is that Bird? Is that Bird? He's going slowly. And now the 2 Mercedes.
On 1%, so I think he's in trouble.
The Mercedes are back.
Vandoorne gets back through, but Bird's on 2%, Josh.
And this is all going crazy. Evans is hit 1. Roland's hit 1. They're not going to take the checkered flag. They're going to have to do another lap. It's Valencia all over again. And it's been caused by the 2 Porsches trying not to showboat. They've really done them over here. And they're all going so slowly through the Farasol. Yellow flags are out at turn 12. The race extended by 0-0-0. And now it's the last lap of the race. And the 2 Porsches are the only one who can make it. And Lotte is going for the lead. Unbelievable. As Tictum spins
Evans
by.
in big trouble here, as is Roland. I think they're about to run out.
Vandoorne's out. Vandoorne's out. Sorry, Ed. Vandoorne's out. He's hit troubles. Look at him. He's dropping. He's dropping. And now, look at it.
Stopped on the circuit somewhere.
And Cassidy.
There's Cassidy pulling to the inside.
And De Vries gets ahead there of Roland, who's hit 0.5%. It's happened again. We were promised this wouldn't happen again in Formula E. And it's happened yet again. It's going to be Porsche victorious, but which one? They're on 1%. Is Lotte really going to hold off behind Furline? This is unbelievable as they come in. De Grassi to 8th. Evans drops to 9th. Cassidy out the points. Buemi into the points. Roland into the points. They're all switching and sliding. Porsche have done a masterclass. The rest of the field have dropped out with energy issues. Another lap was under the belt. But is Furline going to hit 0% before the line? He's having to save. It's happening again. Furline wins. And this time he gets it. No, he hit 0. He hit 0 at the line. Has it happened again? Has it happened again? Furline hit 0
No, I
at the
think
line.
he made it, Josh.
Furline wins his first ever ePrix Lottery again, the bridesmaid. And Vernon at 0 to Costa 0. Mortara across the line. And De Vries has hit 0. De Vries at 0. De Grassi at 0. Buemi at 0. Turvey at 0. They're all coasting across the line. It's all over. We're going to have to wait long into the night for this one. But Furline wins with 0.1 of the line. 0.1.
Oh, look at this. Bird and Roland having to save like crazy just to make to the finish.
Askew nearly jumped
final lap
up.
for a lot of people. And Oliver Askew almost got them as well.
My goodness me, it happened again. Valencia number 2. But Pascal Wehrlein, after being disqualified twice in Mexico, he's only ever won here at Mexico. But he had both of them disqualified. This time, no one can take it away from him. Pascal Wehrlein wins the Mexico ePrix. He's with Diriyah.
I wonder if he...
Yeah. Build up some pace, mate. Bring it back in.
Oh, here he is.
Yeah. I'm doing.
I'm doing it.
Yes. Congrats, guys.
Can we try again?
Oh my God, what a race.
Well done, mate. Well managed.
Wow.
Very, very well managed.
What a
Well done.
weekend.
Well, we hear how much that means to Pascal as well.
Pascal, it's Dario and TV. Congratulations, your first Formula E win and Porsche's first Formula E win too.
Thank you, Dario. Yes, amazing. Feels so good. Man, it took a long time, but finally in Mexico, it's the best race I could imagine.
That's good.
And my first win. Yes!
You came so close so many times, you really deserve it. Well done.
Thank you.
He lost here.
Well, Dario was already saying what I already said as well. Lost here season 5, disqualified last year. He's won here 3 times, but now this is the only one that counts. Unbelievable.
Absolutely, and you got to feel though for Evans though, because he clearly thought it was going to be 1 more lap, not 2 at the end, and
they could have slowed up.
Really lost a load of points, and it shows that this is why you shouldn't bet on Evans for just because he won the previous year. And not that Evans did a bad job, he just got caught out there. I think the race was going okay for him up to that point. But
40 laps.
the Cheetah I think also managed it really, really well. But Porsche, you have to say, they didn't lose. We didn't lose the heads when Mortara got ahead, and they did just save energy. There wasn't a more serious problem with Pascal's car. Look at that! Look at the fans.
Oh,
Look,
the Lego. Where's your Lego?
Thing.
Ed, where is your Lego Porsche? They've just scored a 1-2.
The big one or the small one?
They're both. They've just got a 1-2. You need both.
All right. Okay.
There we go.
We got. Here we go. We can stack them on top of one another.
Pascal Furline.
Oh, look at Pascal. He's stacked on top of it.
Standing aloft, winning. But once again, Andre Lotterer congratulates his teammate, but he's again the bridesmaid. I can't believe it.
But I think Andre knew it was a team result, right?
Yeah.
And he did the same thing when he was Vern's teammate. It's a Cheetah. There was Santiago. Do you remember where he nearly hit the back of him?
Yeah.
Didn't want a repeat of that. But there we go.
Porsche's
Mortara
first
still
win.
got 5th in the end, just ahead of De Vries, crucially. So I think Mortara won't be too upset with how it played out, because at least he got to the end, where many drivers did not. And looking down the order, Buemi and Gunther both scoring points for Nissan in 9th and 10th. That's great for Nissan, who didn't have any points on the board until now.
De Grassi got to 8th, so he started 14th, but I think Buemi...
And Turley got to 14th, which is, considering where the Neo is at, in a race where not many people retired, that's pretty good, considering all the craziness.
I think Buemi, though, up to 9th, started 18th. I think that's the biggest improvement up the field on that one. I think it has to be. But,
well, certainly it came from the good energy management near the end, because I think Buemi was right behind Gunther and just managed to squeeze ahead. I'm trying to think of any other interesting things that happened in the race that are there to talk about.
Well, incident involving De Vries and De Grassi is under investigation, causing a collision at turn 13. So that
which one would that be?
Why Vandoorne fell down?
Right a few times.
Is that why Vandoorne fell down?
De Vries, I thought, was really aggressive in his defending in this race. I wonder if he might get in trouble for that. But
we've got a month to wait until the double-header in Rome, and I don't think I can wait that long, because that was another great Formula E race in Mexico.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to finally be back in Hermanos Rodriguez as well, and that shows exactly why we always keep coming here, because it produces such great races. And of course, great to see. Obviously, they had F1 at the end of last year, didn't they?
Yes.
But also Formula E coming back after the pandemic as well.
So
there's your Drivers' Championship provisionally. Mortara leads De Vries by 5 points. Furline now just 13 points behind the lead.
He's on the same though as Lotterer and De Grassi.
Porsche are going to be really high in the team standings now.
Yeah, Furline and Lotterer both on 30 points. De Grassi's on 30 points as well. Vandoorne on 28. So
it's all German cars.
Yeah.
And you got the top 6 is all Porsche, Venturi, and Mercedes.
Let's hear from race winner Pascal Furline with a man to
win. How satisfying is that?
Really satisfying. So with all the history I had here in Mexico, it feels amazing to have the first victory for me here in Mexico, but also for the team. So so grateful for this team. I really love them. The car was amazing. Also, Andre did an amazing job. Today was our day, and let's celebrate this evening.
To also pick up the win for Porsche here in Mexico City, how significant is that to you?
it was very important for me. I mean, you know, I've been here now for a couple of races in this championship, and I've been so close so many times, and yeah, even here in Mexico last year was heartbreaking to finish in P1, but then get disqualified.
33 races
so,
to be precise.
It was payback this weekend, and feels amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was 33 races to be precise there. The amount Pascal Furline has been in Formula E. This is his 33rd. So,
oh, they even had a little onboard camera. This is him passing Verne earlier in the race.
Look at that. This time he crosses the line and he's not being overtaken. Wow. Excellent blow-by-blow commentary, Josh. Made it thrilling. And Ed as well. Thanks so much for returning to the box.
Anything I added is entirely due to your influence, Josh.
Oh, no, nonsense. You lead the ERC team brilliantly. And a reminder, next Saturday, so Saturday the 19th of February on the ERC YouTube channel.
I'm going to be in Scarborough at that point, so I'll have to see if I can come there. Oh, here's Andre.
Oh, here's Andre Lotto with Amanda.
A little bit over here in studio. Were you told not to take over on Pascal Furline?
Yeah, first of all, congrats to the team, congrats to Pascal, fantastic result, and yeah, obviously was up on energy, and for sure would have had a good opportunity to take the lead, but we worked as a team, and I think the strategy played out very well, and yeah, if I would have started in front of him, then it would have been the same story the other way around, but I think from a team's perspective, it was the right call. You know, we played it cool, and yeah, we really showed a strong performance together.
Andre, you're also seeking your first career win. How hard was that for you?
Yeah, it's tough, obviously, but you know, it's a sport, and yeah, if I should have qualified better, then it's okay. That would have been fine. But you know, it's nice for Pascal. Like,
well, no, what he means is that because he was showing so much great pace in qualifying, and then there was that one duel he lost to who was it? It was Mortara, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, we said that.
And when he lost to
Mortara,
then it sort of was left to Furline to step up. So I think he kind of knows that was really where, because when he started behind Furline, they had to work together basically to make sure they both made it to the end.
That was
and
still.
He was effectively the rear gunner.
Yeah. He did it to Grassi. He did it to Grassi from Diriyah in many respects.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we've seen this season. We've seen Mercedes, Venturi, and Porsche working together as a team in both those races. And but in both races, we've seen the season start with 2 1-2s and a 1-3. Interestingly.
Let's hear from Verne.
Team this season, but it was a battle for it during that race. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it was an interesting race. At some point I was second. I had more energy than Mortara, and I thought, you know, it was looking good for the win. But then my team asked me to change the strategy, and I lost a lot of position all of a sudden. So then I was able to get them back, but obviously not the Porsche. So I'm very happy with this podium. It's been a tough weekend for me. I had food poisoning yesterday, and I did not feel very well today. So yeah. Anyway, congratulations to the Porsche boys. They did an amazing race. 1-2 is. I remember last time I did the 1-2 was actually with Andre in.
Have you noticed something?
I don't remember. South America, yes. So I went up to Porsche, and no, I'm happy. Now we keep pushing. Score points every races, and you know, try and come back in the championship.
Well done.
Thank you.
Say again, Ed.
You shouted as like you noticed something middle of that conversation with them.
Car 11, Lucas de Grassi, a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision with Vandoorne and De Vries. So that's why Vandoorne dropped out the points. De Grassi
that means
hit
De Grassi also does not get the point for fastest lap because he's down to 12th and doesn't finish in the top 10. Dennis sneaks in to get the final point now.
Yep, gets the top 10.
So who does get the fastest lap then? Believe it would it be Furline or Da Costa maybe?
No, it's De Vries on a 109.877. Yeah, 109.877. So De Vries gets the fastest lap inside the top 10.
Yeah, De Vries was so close to catching Mortara at the end, like only 6 tenths behind.
Oh, what a
but
crazy
the Mortara
race.
being 3 tenths down on Furline, it's got to be one of the closest Formula E finishes, apart from the one where, obviously, there was the one between Furline and De Grassi, but of course Furline got disqualified or penalised for coming to chicane, didn't he? So technically it didn't count as the closest finish.
Can't think of any other close finishes we've had.
Well, there was wasn't there the one in, was it season 2 when Degrassi got disqualified, and then it was D'Ambrosio and Buemi.
Side by side at Mexico. At Mexico as well, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Yeah, side by side across that.
D'Ambrosio ended up winning because he held off Buemi in the Dragon.
And then it didn't. That happened in season 1. Degrassi got disqualified in Berlin and gave the win to D'Ambrosio. And then
he did, but D'Ambrosio was a bit further ahead of. I think it was PK or someone else on that occasion.
Comical that isn't. Who is D'Ambrosio? No, where is he now? Where is D'Ambrosio?
Venturi. He's the Venturi team principal.
Yeah, not bad for a DJ.
Well, he's also married to the Habsburg dynasty.
Yes.
In Austria.
Both Jerome D'Ambrosio and Jaime Alguersuari became DJs after their Formula racing careers.
Their driving career.
Driving careers. Thank you for that one. Yeah.
Although Alguersuari has been making a comeback somewhat.
Yeah. There we go. SHT is Degrassi is 12th right now. Yeah, he's just been given a 5-second time penalty.
Yeah, he did finish though. He didn't finish 7th on the road behind De Vries.
Yes, 7th. Yeah, so so that's why Degrassi's been dropped out of the positions as well for a time penalty because he hit De Vries and spun round, I presume, Vandoorne, because Vandoorne dropped massively down the order as well. One of you comments saying, "What is this I keep fiddling with up in the commentary box?" It's a tripod with the camera, and that's how Ed is seeing me. It's Ed's camera to me here. So if I swivel that round, I can see.
So I was
Ed
wondering, Josh, because one thing you said there near the end was you were saying this is Valencia all over again.
Yes.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but but I don't know. I feel like Valencia was it was because of the energy reduction last year, and there was a sort of unique scenario. Was this felt more like You still there? Sorry,
I'm here.
I accidentally minimized you.
Oh.
Whereas this felt more like Porsche deliberately kind of not knowing that there was going to be an extra lap and not doing anything to stop it, basically, to their benefit.
Yeah, I mean, we knew there was going to be an extra lap because we heard pre-race that Verne was being warned this race is going to go longer.
Well, that just shows you how good the
strategy calls
the engineers are at DS Cheetah.
They knew
because
the race.
Clearly the engineers at Jaguar got caught out by that for Evans.
Yeah, he dropped down, didn't he, Evans, to his 19th
place. I think Bird also lost a few positions as well because Turvey got in front
15th,
of him. Yeah. Envision, I think, also didn't call it right either because Cassidy lost a load
13th,
of positions.
Yeah,
Brian's actually lucky to finish in the top 7 in the end.
Got promoted, I suppose, up there as well. Getting ready for the podium.
Nissan, funnily enough, the team that actually called it right, that went from out of the points to into points, were Nissan, who memorably lost a chance of a podium a couple of years ago, like you were saying. That was the big embarrassment that Boyman was shouting about. And today, they didn't make the same mistakes, so they learned their lesson, really.
Interesting, just looking, it's Tag Heuer Porsche 1-2, DS Cheetah 3-4. That's an unusual go out. But as you say...
Yeah, like that, it's been unusual this season that the first couple of races have been teams working together to maximise their results, haven't they?
3 different teams as well. 3 different winners. With race 1, Mercedes with De Vries and Vandoorne. Race 2 was Mortara and Degrassi. Race 3 is Furline and Lotterer. So it's really is quite close this year. Is that because it's the last year of the Gen 2 cars, so everybody knows all the tricks and everything? They know how to play it off each other.
Possibly, but then if that was the case, you'd be expecting like all the it to be really, really competitive, and like the really small teams like Neo and the Dragon would be fighting for the win as well.
Yeah, that's true. Well, slower powertrains.
Well, I guess the problem is they've got the sort of the hardware limitations, and that they're sort of stuck with what they had last year, which wasn't necessarily the best package.
While we wait for sorry, go on.
Yeah, but anyway, you didn't answer my question about whether this was. Because to me, that wasn't anywhere near as bad as Valencia, in my opinion.
It was a bit of a... I suppose... finally, we got to see a race end, by the way, excitingly. But it was a bit of a, like, come on. Did you really have to go? It was 1 second across the line. You could have lifted. Because there was a risk that the Porsches wouldn't make it to the end as well. They had to really save on that last lap.
Yeah, it's sort of... Remember Valencia race 2, where Dennis was told, basically, to... lift and coast, even though he had, I think, Norman Nato right behind him at the time, but he was told lift and coast so we don't have to do the extra lap. But I think that might have been because BMW and Jelly literally did not have enough energy to do an extra lap because that Valencia was so taxing on energy. Whereas here, it was a little bit different. Yeah, it's definitely a taxing circuit on energy, but not quite to the same degree. It's demanding, but you can make it. And they're showing a replay of season 5 again of Degrassi getting through on Furline.
Right at the line, yeah.
SHT, emphasise the heartbreak that Furline, I guess, has gone through. They're going to do the bad luck montage of all the times that Furline has been screwed out of victory and had something bad happen to.
SHT wants to know, Ed, how do you feel about the F1 car liveries so far? And also, Alpine and BWT confirmed their partnership. Blue and pink Alpine car confirmed. First of all, what do you think of the blue and pink Alpine F1 car? And then the liveries we've seen so far in F1 cars.
I haven't seen the blue and pink Alpine car.
Oh, it hasn't been ready yet. It hasn't been sent out.
Oh, they've just announced the sponsorship.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Depends what they do with it. I think blue and pink is an interesting combination. I think Onyx, or was it Monteverde, used to have a sort of similar kind of purple and pink kind of a dark purpley kind of thing. Or was it dark blue? No, it was dark blue and pink. The old Onyx F1 car that Stefan Johansson got podium in once.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a bad colour choice, and good for Alpine that they're getting a few sponsors outside of the Renault company as the podium gets ready.
Yep, here we go.
What do I think of the F1 launches on the sort of generic
I've seen so
show
far,
car? I understand why it's been done. I don't really mind it so much because I think it adds a bit of excitement, even though we're not getting live sort of testing. When we get the sort of a little bit like Formula, we get the little highlights. We see the new car driver combinations, especially with this new era. I think it adds a bit more excitement actually. I always feel like the glitzy launches are kind of unnecessary anyway, so I don't really care that they don't have necessarily the latest car or whatever, because they're not really for you and me. It feels like they're not for the anoraks, they're for the sponsors, for the big celebrities and the PR. Like, you think back to like the McLaren launches under Ron Dennis, as there's the new Porsche boss, his name escapes me.
Sure, flash
celebrating the first win and the 1-2 for the team as well. So
first win, first 1-2, first win for Furline. That's just fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to feel happy for Porsche because it's not every day you see a new team in Formula E win the race.
Jean-Eric Verne comes onto the podium then, and once again takes up a podium position. It's his 25th Formula E podium in Formula E, obviously. And
you can tell he looks a little under the weather.
Yeah, food poisoning and having to do mental calculations himself in the race. The bridesmaid, Andre Lotterer.
Mexico, a common place to get food poisoning from.
It is, yes.
In the F1 paddock.
Yes, it is.
And FE too.
Andre Lotterer, his 8th Formula E podium, and best finish second, still on the board. The bridesmaid once again, one of these days.
How many second places does Andre Lotterer have now?
6 out of 8. Yeah.
That's got to be near a record for like second places without most amount of podiums without a win for Andre. Because he's had a few thirds as well.
But for Pascal Wehrlein, it's his 3rd ever podium in Formula E. After taking his 3rd pole position earlier on today, it's his 1st ever win in Formula E, alongside Porsche's 1st win as well. And after 2 previous times crossing the line first but being disqualified, both in Mexico, one other at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, one at the Puebla circuit last year, you must say Wehrlein has got a little something of Mexico in him. He only seems to cross the line first here. This time, though, he gets to keep it. He does what Degrassi did, disqualified in Mexico the year before, and takes the win later on. We'll hear the German national anthem for both Porsche and for Pascal Wehrlein. But we have to, of course, talk over it, which is the way it goes.
And I would say that the big moment, because Pascal Wehrlein, it feels to me like I always felt like he should have been a bigger superstar, in my opinion, especially in Formula One. And I remember there was this story about like a Racing Point / Force India, where basically he'd done a test with them, and the test apparently didn't go particularly well, and they were constantly making snide jokes about Pascal.
Oh no!
About like how, and not like hold it against Racing Point today or anything like that. It was just we don't know exactly what happened in that test, but Manor, who Pascal did work, they said I don't understand why Pascal's not talked about like future star, because he's brilliant with us. He's always he's such a top drawer guy. and yet he never got the break he really deserved. And Mercedes, he's that lost generation, isn't he, from Mercedes, who never quite made it to the top of Formula 1. Go on.
The British national anthem was accidentally played there. I think after, because they shut that off quite quickly, didn't they? Look at all the Porsche mechanics going, well, why is the British national anthem playing? Why?
Oh, were they expecting Jake Dennis or Sam Bird to win?
I'll take it. You'll take it, I'm sure. British national anthem. That's fine by us.
We'll take Pascal as an honorary British driver.
Yes, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Was it for David Nicole giving the trophy out?
I think, yeah, oh my word.
First I was the national anthem given for the trophy. They just sort of abandoned the anthem now.
They shut it off quickly. Oh, and then they go and put the smoke in front of him. How's that fair? Porsche get their first ever win.
Everyone gets a face full of smoke. I mean, we saw it with Mortara and De Vries earlier. They were giving each other a face full of smoke.
The start of the race as well. Yeah, so the General Secretary.
Yeah, the General Secretary of Organisation Mechanisation.
Yeah, Jean-Eric.
25th
pot in Formula E alongside his 2 World Championship trophies.
He's number 25, of course.
Yes, so that's a big number for him. Beatrix Sanchez presents
Julie's Bear Executive giving. They seem to get more and more generic, these trophy givers.
Yeah. As
more anonymous board member of shady company. Here's a little bit of plastic with an E on the top.
Andre Lotterer, again the bridesmaid. Someday somebody will marry him just to give him his own wedding day.
No, Andre with the Porsche. If the Porsche keeps his form up, I wouldn't be surprised to see Andre take a win somewhere.
Fingers
but anyway,
crossed.
There's a man who really deserves it. And it's a shame he didn't get to hear his own country's anthem there, but hey, Pascal, you're sort of half British now, as well as being half Mauritian, half German.
We'll take it.
Well,
He'll take it. He'll accept it.
Yeah.
But the fireworks.
I'm sure the
go
British
off.
mechanics in some of the
they
British
liked
mechanics in the Porsche team. I know there was one who asked for the instructions for this that I gave to them. So it's weird looking at them from the back because they've got a yellow bit on the Michelin cap. It makes you think it's like, are they wearing Brazilian caps or something with the big yellow E.DAMS E-Progress or whatever it is on the back? And there we go.
Oh, it's champagne time. Big drink for Furline.
Could have sworn the top of those overalls were black before we got the champagne out, and now they're all white with the champagne.
Completely soaked. The confetti flies off, red, green, and white. The fireworks.
Well, you got to hope now that Porsche stay in Formula E after that.
They've got their first one too. They needed it. What a great race we've seen for round 3. Diriyah delivered. Mexico melted our brains. What a great race it was. We've got to wait a month now. We're not racing.
Well, I don't think the marshal running the crane in Diriyah delivered, but everything else, I guess.
Oh, yeah, apart from them.
From that point, from the racing point of view, I guess so.
But we've got to wait a month. We're not racing in March at all. We have to wait until...
not real racing anyway.
No, not real, no. We're back with the ERC Formula E Championship as well. But we have to wait until April the 4th in Rome for a double header for the next race. But in between, it all kicks off. Formula 1 is our next port of call here on the YouTube channel. Testing on Wednesday the 23rd, Thursday the 24th, and Friday the 25th. Once again, we may not have any TV pictures, but we'll be live with all the updates for all of the 8 hours across the 3 days. And then, of course, we'll be going for Race 1 of MotoGP. The Qatar Grand Prix gets underway on the first weekend of March. A week later, we go for testing, official preseason testing for Formula 1 in Bahrain. Again, I'll have guests on, we'll have TV pictures, live timings, everything. Hopefully you'll stop by, Ed, at some point as well. But then, of course, season kicks underway a week later. March the 18th, 19th and 20th. You don't want to miss it. Round 1 of a whole new era for Formula 1 gets underway. Then we got the same weekend, MotoGP Round 2. And I can't forget the big one I've been waiting for is the fact that on the 27th of February, IndyCar returns. The Grand Prix of St. Petersburg live here on YouTube. Can't wait for IndyCar to come back at St. Pete. Andre Lotte almost throwing the
Lotte just
trophy.
threatened to throw the trophy into the crowd after they've thrown the caps in.
Porsche want to go crowd surfing. I think I'd join them.
Jack Pickering's there. He might well be in the middle of crowd surfing.
Oh, we need
as we speak.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. We need to get Jack on the call during a race at one point and get him mic'd up and get him on this, because that would be an amazing atmosphere at the podium.
I did ask him just before the race, are you watching the lady and the rapper prancing about right now? And he said, yes, I don't understand either.
I don't think anybody does.
Mainly because we don't speak Mexican, I imagine, or whatever language they
Spanish.
speak in parts of Latin and South America.
It'd be Spanish and Portuguese, wouldn't it? A
Would be,
combination,
yes.
yeah.
I don't know why I thought Mexican was a language.
Okay, we're about done here as well. We've gone through what we've got, as I said. Yeah, testing.
Do we have to do
the
drivers
car.
of the race?
We do. So, Ed, your driver of the day, please.
Well, it's a tough one. I sort of think Verne, for getting through the food poisoning, the radio troubles, and listening to all that stuff on the radio, made me have a big appreciation for Verne's race. But because of everything they had to deal with, the fact that he didn't lose his head, the fact that he didn't put a foot wrong, I have to give it to Pascal Wehrlein, I think.
I think I'd agree with you there, to be fair.
Although, honourable mention to Seb Buemi, who survived a battle with Degrassi,
P8 now.
all sorts of chaos, to get up to P8 in the end. I think that was a great drive. And
I might throw out there for Verne. I thought that was a very difficult race for Verne. Food poisoning, no radio, strategy changing. I'd go for Verne, actually, over...
Yeah. And I think given how difficult it is without the qualifying advantage, I think tiny honourable mention to Oliver Turvey and Nia for getting up to 14th at the end.
Yes, I'd agree. So, 19th.
Wehrlein, it has to be for me.
Yes, yeah. So, Saturday 19th, the ERC Endurance Round 2, the 8 Hours of Silverstone. Sunday the 20th on the USRN Radio Network as well. You can join us for NASCAR Daytona 500. That's from 7:30 p.m. UK time. Further on, as I said, 23rd, 24th, to 25th of February, join us for testing. IndyCar gets underway Sunday the 27th as well. We'll be live for the first race of IndyCar. Week later, on Sunday the 6th of March, we'll be live for MotoGP Round 1 at Qatar. Week later as well, Friday the 11th, Saturday the 12th and Sunday the 13th of March, pre-season testing from Bahrain. Following that, a week later, everything else kicks off. Bahrain Round 1, a whole new year Formula 1 as well with a new generation. Indonesia for MotoGP, and Round 2 from Texas for IndyCar as well, to whet your appetite. And rounding off in March as well, on the last weekend, on the 25th, 26th and 27th of March, we'll have Saudi Arabia Round 2 of Formula 1 as well. And
oh boy, I can't wait.
Yes, I know. And going up then, the next time we will see racing for Formula E, it will be on Saturday the 9th and Sunday the 10th of April, when we go racing for rounds 4 and 5 at Rome as well. The podium and the checkers are out, as you can see on Ed's camera. We thank you all for watching the watch along here tonight.
You can tell it's Pascal because of the mustache.
Oh, yes. I thought it was you. You've grown that.
That's why they play British National Anthem, of course.
My thanks to you at home, and a big thanks to Edward Hunter, returning to the commentary box for the first time this year, and hopefully we'll have you on a lot more for the rest of the year. My thanks to all of you at home. Join us then. The next time we'll be on will be F1 testing. It's going to be a fantastic one. My thanks to Ed Hunter. My thanks to all of you at home. Pascal Wehrlein gets his first race win. Porsche a 1-2 for their first win as well. Not a bad way to spend a Saturday evening. Good night to you all.